Right, so first question, Tempie. Tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into your work.
I am Tempie, obviously. I'm a PA for LuluLuvley. I edit videos sometimes. I've done a little bit of UGC content for like TikTok ads for my own stuff. Yeah, that's about like all I do. And then how I got into it, I started out as a viewer, like most people on Twitch, and found Lulu stream in I think it was mid 2018. And yeah, I was just watching sort of like through. I think it was she played Rust, which is how I found her through someone that I used to watch, and then she was doing like Overwatch, Destiny, Fortnite. So it's sort of like all before she blew up, and then through Apex, obviously, watched her all through that, and then I became a mod in I think 2019, late 2019, because that was after TWITCHCON. Yeah, and then it kind of just went from there. I was a mod for a year or two. Became friends with her agent, who was constantly battling to try and get her to do stuff during sponsored streams. So I figured I'd sort of help him out a bit and sort of chase her while she's live to like hit all the stuff she has to hit for sponsors. And then it kind of just went from there. I was being really annoying, I think. I was just like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, like off stream, on stream, all sorts of stuff. And she's like, you know what, I should just hire you to do this full time. So yeah, I think it was mid 2020, maybe 2021. I started working for Lulu then, and it's been 4 and a bit years.
Time goes quickly.
Doing the same stuff.
Yeah,
it does
time
go
goes quickly.
really quickly.
Did you ever think you wanted to get into that then? Like, was you ever interested in being a PA or like being like working for someone, or was it just like you wanted her to do it because you could see how much like she was missing on that part of like her content kind of thing?
Yeah, no, I never thought it was an option, like a possibility, like no desire to do it or anything. I was just at the time just watching her every day, and like it was sort of at a time where she was small enough to know everybody. So like the core community back then were all friends. So like we're just I was just helping her out, kind of thing. And then yeah, I kind of just fell into it. I was an electrician for 7 years. So like the switch between that and this is like night and day. You can't
Yeah.
there's no progression into that. It's just kind of like, oh, this is an option now. Yeah, so no, there was no like desire to do it. It just kind of happened.
You just kind of fell into it.
Content wise though, I've always like been interested in, like I used to make Call of Duty 4 videos back in the day, sniper montages, stuff like that with my friends, and so I think there's always been like a passion for it, but after I got like a real job and that kind of stuff fell away, and I was just playing games casually and watching Twitch, and yeah, it just kind of happened in the end.
Yeah. Did you do that? Did you do like the electrician on the side when you got the PA, or was you just like, did you just full send?
For about 3 months, and then I had to stop. Like it was just too much.
Too much going on. Yeah.
Because I was doing like 6 a.m. till like 5 p.m. like physical labor work, and then Lulu's streams usually or used to start around 7 p.m. our time, and then if it was like sponsored stuff, it would go till like 2 a.m. and then I'd be back up at like 6 a.m. again. So after 3 months, like when she hired me to do it, I was like, I'm gonna try and do both at the same time, but yeah, it was just too much.
Difficult. Yeah.
Like physical and then late night, so I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. It just takes it out of you, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
It just takes it out of you. I suppose as well, like you sound like the time zone difference, like you're just getting no sleep at all. Either. Yeah. Like literally zero
pretty
sleep.
Much.
Was you? I guess you had to be there for all the sponsorship stuff as well. Then I guess was that like the way it was that you have to run through like when she needs to do like the prompts of what she needs to do at certain times.
Yeah, so she's very good at getting lost in games. So especially back in the Apex days, like she was sponsored by Apex quite a bit, and like I think that was even harder because it was her usual content anyway. she'll get lost in the competitiveness of the game and forget she's doing a sponsored stream.
Right. Yeah.
And she kind of needs that push to like, yo, you need to actually advertise what you're advertising here. Like, so yeah, it's kind of like anything sponsored wise, I'm kind of just making sure she is hitting all her stuff that she needs to hit. And then I set up everything on the back end that I can to basically just mean she can go live. So like all your overlays, tweets, panels, all that stuff, commands, all that stuff I do before stream, and then she can just go live.
Right. Okay.
Trying to just make it as easy as possible. She's super ADHD.
Oh, is she?
Super ADHD. Yeah. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff, really.
Yeah. Well, just about like what she needs to do at certain times. Is that what it is? But she just forgets while she's like gaming and stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to do. Like,
yeah,
especially if you're competitive and you're doing like a shooter game, for example, you're just locked into trying to win, and you kind of get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, definitely. Especially as you're only like, most sponsorships are like 2 hours, aren't they? Pretty much, or they run over a couple of days. Most kind of streams are like 2 hours, and then that's your sort of segment done, sort of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be in all of anything sponsored. I'll be there for like start to finish, guaranteed, and then I'm normally nowadays in and out of the rest of the stream. Whereas like back in the peak, I'd be start to finish.
Yeah,
reading the entirety of chat, but her chat's pretty chill now. So back in the day, it was bad.
Back in like Prime Apex days?
Prime Apex days, it was not a good place to be. But
was it not?
As a mod, like the stuff you see is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Especially she was coming out for Apex.
Chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what Apex community is like.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a situation, to say the least. Yeah, I used to watch her like a lot back in the day. She was like, her and Wig were the first two streamers I ever watched. So
yeah,
because I wasn't really on Twitch. I used to watch all her YouTube videos, and I realized that like the majority of them streamed constantly, and I was like, oh, they're live. And then like, yeah, I just started watching them, obviously on Twitch, and then I realized that like how big live streaming was, and I think that's how I sort of got into doing it as well. To be fair, just watching.
What year was that? Was that like peak Apex, like COVID or after COVID?
That was just before COVID. I'd say it's around 2019. I watched.
Yeah, so you
like from
you got into Twitch like peak popularity, like most people or like were watching Twitch during COVID, obviously because everyone was at home.
I'm pretty sure it was around then. It was when she had, she's in her old place. So not the place before, the place before that one. When she had like her blonde hair, and she had like the side,
that was
like profile one. Like where she had like all her raging clips and all that, her clips that blew up, I think, is around that time. Because I don't know what she used to average back then.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she used to average back then, but because I can't remember the top of my head, but I don't think it was like close to what she does now.
I mean, peak Apex, she like, and during COVID, she went from like 3K to 10K average. Yeah, so Jesus. Like those, like everyone blew up that sort of era because Twitch, like I think it like over doubled its user because of COVID.
Yeah.
Like average viewers. But yeah, she sort of got up there during COVID Apex. Yeah, and then now it's sort of like dropped off a bit, but
variety, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I kind of wish I started before COVID, but it's what it is. It's one of them things, isn't it? You can't look back on it. But no, yeah, a long time ago. They were the first two streamers I pretty much watched, and then I just went from there pretty much. Just learned about streaming and other streamers and blah, 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 blah. But yeah. Okay, so that's the first question done. Second question. How important has... sorry. Excuse me. How important has community been for you / being a part of these communities?
Massive. I think community, especially in streams, is so big because it kind of keeps people coming back. Like I was saying back in the day, like before Lulu blew up and she was probably at like 250 viewer average, everybody knew each other. So it was like a small community of, well, a big community of friends, but like you go into a chat and like I know you've got the same thing. You know everybody pretty much, unless they're a new viewer. So like you know what people have got going on. Like you can ask like how they're doing. Um, so yeah, I think community is massive, especially on live stuff because you can check in on people.
Yeah, I agree. I think community is like probably the number one thing. I think because if you don't have a community, then what really do you have? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it's all good having people just watching you for like your skill or like whatever. But if you actually have like a core base of community, you can then make ideas through your community as well.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and like, obviously you make friends, and other people start streaming, and then you kind of like everyone gets to know each other, and it's more like a domino effect, right? Of just like content ideas, and then you're making friends, and then obviously growing as well because people recommend you to their friends, and
Yeah,
then you kind of
exactly.
like mix in with other communities, and then it's like it just turns into one big snowball effect of like getting to know everyone.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps you grow too, because like I think for me over the years, community wise, it had been like smaller communities, like sort of at the start of stream before people blow up. But if you look now at like Nora Explorers community, for example, um, like they're probably the best community I've ever seen on Twitch. Like you go into her chat, her sister's chat, her brother's chat, and you just say hello, and you're getting spammed by like 100 people saying hello back, and it's just unreal. Um, so it definitely translates, like even when you've blown up, and then community wise, like say you bounce ideas off of other people in your community and other streamers as well. So I don't know if you watch much of Nora's stuff over TwitchCon, but there's a big group of them that have all been streaming IRL streaming, and they kind of just like share ideas, share streams, and then they're all like, "Yo, my community, come watch. We're all on this channel," and you kind of like blow up together,
Yeah.
and it's really nice to be able to do that.
No, yeah, definitely. I've watched a little bit. I watched like, well, when you was on it, I watched a little bit when she was at the restaurant with like everyone, and
Mm.
like Clara, AC, and all them sort of people. But no, yeah, I didn't know about like the community thing you said about when you say hello and they've got like 100 people saying hello to you.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
like it's so cool because you just don't expect it. Like,
Mm.
there's not many communities on Twitch that do that. I don't feel like.
Yeah, sometimes they're very like not gatekeepy, but I feel like as well, there's a lot of communities or like just people in general that won't interact with people like new people. They just refuse to. I don't know what it is, and I think as a new viewer as well, I think it kind of makes it like worse because like when you go into a community that you don't know or someone new, you want to like talk to people, like you want to get involved in the chat, and you want to like talk to the streamer or talk to other people in and around like their community and get to know them and see how their vibe is. But like when people kind of don't give you the time of day, it's like, well, like why? Like I'm just here, like just talking for no reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like you kind of feel like left out. You're like the guy who's just been left outside, and everyone else is having a party inside. You know what I mean?
No,
It's
I
like you
definitely,
don't really
yeah.
know what to do.
I know what you mean. Like in established communities, you definitely have like little cliquey groups of people that are friends, and it's like if you're new, it's kind of intimidating to break into that, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is, especially like bigger creators as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously you've got a wild bunch of people
Yeah.
there, haven't you? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, it's hard to it's massive creators. Like I don't even know how they even maintain a sense of community because their chats are going so quick. It's like how do you relate to anything when you can't even read it, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. But that's when you have like the core people that have supported you from when you was like,
Yeah.
5, 6 viewers or whatever, and then when you're
Yep.
getting like 2K plus or 1K or 500 or whatever it is, like
Yeah.
that's when you can rely on them sort of people. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yep.
new viewers, you don't know what you're going to expect from new viewers. You really don't. You can have someone be really nice, and you get to know them. And you think, oh my god, they're actually really nice, and then you go on to like get to know them more. Although you could get someone who just doesn't care and just wants to come in and troll. You could get someone who just wants to watch you. Yeah, you just get someone who just wants to watch you and they don't want to say anything. Like there's so many different people when you're getting new viewers. Which is why live streaming is hard to get your head around sometimes. That people just watch without saying anything. Like they just watch you.
Yeah.
They don't
lurkers are like, I get it. Like I'll lurk in a lot of streams. Yeah, it's interesting because like like you do get people that want to talk all the time. You get the trolls, obviously. But yeah, lurking is like a lot of viewers are lurkers, and I don't think people really realize that.
No, they don't. They don't. And I think if they was to ever like stop making that a thing, or like it suddenly just got like people didn't want to do it anymore, it'd be crazy the viewership drop off. Like everyone, of every single streamer. Like people think that lurking is like, oh, I'm not doing anything because I'm lurking, but it's not. You're supporting the streamer. You're just not actively there in chat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if anything, you wouldn't have a community if you don't have lurkers, because
oh no, 100%.
Like, you know, some people wouldn't bother to check you out, and then, you know, sometimes people will come out of lurking and they'll say something because they're like, oh, I can now get involved, or they're like, oh, I want to talk now. I've got a bit of time. Do you know what I mean? And they go, oh, okay, I'm going back to lurking now. So I know that was a big topic a few like months ago, wasn't it? About like someone having a go at lurkers, saying like, don't bother watching my stream if you're going to lurk. And like, I just couldn't get my head around that. I really couldn't get my head around that. I was just like, that is the most backwards thinking I think I've ever seen in my life, that you're going to shun people and like have a go at them for sitting there and putting a tab up in your stream. Like, it doesn't matter if you pull a stream up and you're in like an hour in and then you don't talk, and it's like a 6-hour stream and then you just don't talk, and then the next day you do the same thing. Like, why does that matter to someone? Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, I don't get
why you would have an issue with that at all, because they're growing your stream.
Yeah.
Like, they're still supporting you. They're probably still watching ads. So yeah, I don't know why you'd have a problem with that. And it's the same with like a couple of years ago, people crying that people don't subscribe, and it's only $5. Like, why?
Yeah, I never get that.
Complaining that people are just not going to watch you if you're going to have a take like that.
No, definitely not. Yeah, if you're moaning about people not subbing to you, is crazy. Like when people think that just because you're mod or VIP means you have to sub to someone, that is just not the case. For me personally, I couldn't care less, and that's not even like a horrible way. Like, I mean, like, just because you're a VIP or subbing to me doesn't mean you like VIP or mod to me doesn't mean you have to sub. Like, I'm not going to look at you any worse because you've got a sub badge next to your name and you're a VIP in my channel. Like, like, I still appreciate it, of course I do, but you're not it's not any different. You know what I mean? It doesn't make me look at you less because you're not subscribed to me. Like, you know, if the amount of streamers people know is, you'd be like subbing to a lot of people and it'd be a lot of money to like shell out. Do you know what I mean? Which is why people go for like Twitch Turbo, or like why people only sub to like the core people they watch, like 2 or 3 people or 4 or 5 people, and then they go and watch other people, but they just don't sub to them. Like, that's
what I do nowadays. I used to have a massive list of people I sub to, but now I do Turbo, and I got two or 3 people I sub to, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I mean, the monthly cost gets insane.
You does.
You watch like 20 people when you're trying to sub to them all. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it does. Especially as it increases and whatnot as well. It's tough to like keep up with. And then you sit there and look at it and you go, okay, well, I'm spending like 50 quid a month. Like, it's a lot. Do you know what I mean? And listen, it's a support at the end of the day, but you have to do it. That's why I always say to people, only sub if it's just like an expense. You know what I mean? Like, you've got the extra cash for the month, or like you're feeling generous, or that sort of thing. It's not like you don't have to do it. I mean, you don't have to sub to someone, which is why gifting is like a big thing as well. Like, even with gifting, it's like, that should always be, gifting should always be, if you have the extra cash, or, you know, if you're feeling generous one day, don't just do it because you think it's going to get you something, or you think that subbing's going to make you look any better, or like gifting.
Yeah,
like, of course,
I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, like, it's crazy that, and people use that as like a tactic as well. I'm not talking about people that like gift and they're like, they get like mod or VIP, and then people become friends because they're like, you know, they gift to them and they're nice and they're always in their community and they're giving the financial support. But people twist it and they're like, oh, well, I've gifted you this amount this month. Like, you should now want to play with me, and you should now want to do this with me. And it's kind of like having a puppet. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're just controlling the streamer. Like, if I give you this, you now have to do this to me. And that's just really not the case. That really is not the case. Like, I'd honestly rather someone just be in my stream, talk, be in a community, and like we get to know each other, than just, oh, I'm just gonna drop this amount and now we have to be best friends. Like, it's not.
Yeah, no. If you're subbing, gifting subs, donating, whatever, with the ulterior motive of like trying to use that to get somewhere, just don't.
Yeah.
Like, you will end up banned.
Yeah.
Like, people find that really weird, which they should, because it is. And yeah, I don't know what goes on through people's heads sometimes with the parasocial stuff, but yeah, I just wouldn't bother.
Yeah, it's just the thing is as well. It's like it's the people that do that that give the people that are generous and do want to sub to you and give subs a bad name, because then they sort of get tarnished with the same brush. Like, oh, like I now don't want to like interact because they're being weird about it, but someone else has been completely fine and they're like gifting and like being supportive.
Yeah,
and it kind of like tarnishes it because you're like, well, like now, like how do like I don't know how people are gonna react to certain things now, and like sometimes you don't know people's motives, and do you know what I mean?
you can definitely have bad experiences with stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I know people that have done that and then they've been weird and they got banned and then they charge back everything they've gifted, and it's like, well, fuck, now like I'm worried about everybody doing that.
Yeah, it's like a bad taste in your mouth, innit?
Yeah,
and it's like I just don't think you should ever like financially try and give an amount to a stream. It's kind of like buying a streamer, and that's just not how it works. It really isn't how it works. I mean, for some people, potentially, yeah, it might work, but like I just feel like to be true to yourself, like gifting is always an extra. It's always an extra on the side of streaming. Like you don't have to give to someone, and you don't have to do it. No one tells you to do it. Same as subbing, you don't have to sub to someone. But people that like try and use that against people is just, I think that's wrong. I really think it's bad.
Oh, it is.
They would do that.
Yeah.
Because they can go to any length. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, like doing chargebacks and stuff like that. Like it's just crazy. It's mad how much people go to different lengths to do it. I mean, it happened to recently. Someone I know, someone on Twitter. I don't know if you know Badass Mummy. She said it happened to her. Yeah.
I
see the
remember
tweets
seeing
about
that.
it. Yeah. She said a guy donated her like, what was it, like 2K or something?
Yeah.
Something like that. And then he just like was being weird, asking her for like nudes and like saying he wants to take her out and blah 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 blah, and then he like cashed it all back again. Yeah, cashed it all back again because she was like, no, I've got a partner. I'm literally about to have a child. So I'm probably not going to want to do that, mate. So yeah. I'll give me 2 seconds.
Yep.
Yo, Sloth, thanks for the gifted, baby. It worked, Tempie. Reverse psychology. Come on, like, keep gifting.
You've got to go on a date with Sloth now, though.
Yeah, sorry, Sloth. Where are we going? Where are we going? Nah, thanks so much for the sub, man. Also, I'm sorry that we're ignoring messages. I'm not ignoring them. We're just trying to do it so we don't like talk over each other and stuff. Tunks and Torn B, thanks for the follows as well, by the way. But yeah.
Yo, what up, Tunks? Tunks is my guy.
Oh, is Tunks your guy? Yeah. Nice. What's up, Tunks? Thanks for the follow, man.
He's one of my Australian friends. You've got loads. He's one of mine.
You got a secret one, yeah?
Secret friend.
Secret Aussie friend. Okay, no, he's two-timing us. He's two-timing us. But yeah, thanks so much for the follow, guys. I appreciate you. Sloth, thanks for the gifted as well, man. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the first time gifted. Yeah, you're now a VIP, and we now have to go on a date somewhere. You decide, though, mate. You decide. But yeah, people are just like, it's very strange behavior to do that. I can't lie. Like very.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
The whole parasocial side of content creation is unreal.
Yeah, unreal. It is. It's a very like weird thing to get your head around. And I think as well, I know a few people that struggle to say no. Like, as in, like when people ask them to play, or when like new people come in, or that sort of thing. It's one of them ones you can't let people come in and bully you and like do things that you wouldn't do anyway, but just because they said, oh, can we play, or blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? I kind of gauge it on how well I know you, like how well I know someone through other streamers, or you been in my stream, or that sort of thing. Like it's not just, oh, first time chat, can we play? Probably not, mate. No, unfortunately, because I don't know you. And you have to take it as this, right? People don't realize is, if I do allow this person to come on the stream, I don't know what they're gonna say. They could start like being racist, homophobic. I don't know what they're gonna say. I don't know them. I've never spoke to this person in my life. How do I know what they're gonna say or what they're gonna do? They might, they could do absolutely anything they want on stream, and I don't know that. And I think people forget that. Yeah, okay, it's just you playing a game with someone, but it's not, because it's live. So you now have the control, because everyone can hear what you're going to say. Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
And I don't know you. This is the first time I ever spoke to you. how am I supposed to like gauge how you are and what type of person you are? And if I want you around my stream and if I want you in my community, I don't. It's the first time I've ever like interacted with you.
Even just like the vibes, like you don't know how you're gonna vibe with them. Like all the other stuff aside, it might be the most boring stream ever because you don't know them. You don't know like what they're like. Like yeah, they could say some crazy shit as well, but like it might just be boring.
Yeah. And I think people take advantage of streamers when they do that, like, because it's like they can see your reaction and they can see that like you've read their message, and then how you go about it in your brain. Like, am I gonna say no? Am I gonna say yes? It happens to the best of us. I can't lie. Like when I first started, I was pretty much what I'm saying I am now. I used to just say, "Oh yeah, you can come play if you want."
Yeah,
but I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10, then people are not gonna want to come back because. It's like they'll play with you and then they'll go, oh, okay, I'm going now, and then they'll leave, and then they won't ever come back, which is fine. That's it's completely fine if you want to do that, and you don't have to watch everyone you play with. But it's more the case of people will use that against you and be like, oh, can we play again? Can we play? And it's like a repetitiveness of just can we play?
Yeah.
But the quicker you learn to say no, the easier it is, and it's not even like a horrible thing either. I don't think it's not like I'm saying no to you because I don't like you. It's because I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know what you're going to say. I don't know if we're going to get on. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a weird one. It's a weird one. But listen, I'll never judge streamers for doing it in the first place. Like, I'll never judge them and go, oh, yeah, like, they're doing it with someone. Oh, like, I'm going to now judge them because they've accepted everyone. Because I find it hard to ask people to play that I, like, actually like, but I don't want to cross that line because of people that I'm talking about where you ask the player and then they're weird and like then you have to open it up to everyone. Do you know what I mean? Because once you say yes to one person, that then opens it up. Now everyone can now play with you. And like if you say no to this person, they'll be like, well, you said yes to me and then you're saying no to them. So it's like if you just say no or say I only really play with people, that's what I say. I only really play with people that I know or are friends with. And then that way it settles it, because
I think that's what most people go to as the get out of having to explain everything, like I just play with friends, or I'm playing solo. I'm doing a solo grind. That was one of Lulu's go-tos for a long time. Which she was doing anyway. It's like I'm doing bronze to master solo kind of thing. But yeah, I think I only play with friends is like the easiest way to get out of that.
I think it is. Yeah, I just think like it's. Where it's streaming, it's completely different. It's very open, very, very open. Like it is, it's easier to like ignore it when it's on a post. Like, oh, can we play? You just say,
you can just.
I'll be live at this time, or no, or you just ignore it. But where it's live, people can see your reactions and see you are. Which I think people manipulate that as well. The fact that it's live, not just with just asking people to play, just in general, just about anything, just about any topic ever. That it could be something that come out about you, or it could be something that they heard about you, or like something they know you're not talking to someone now, and they try and make it a bit awkward, and they try and see your reaction. You know what I mean? It's very like,
yeah, you see it a lot. Like, that's again parasocial stuff. Like they're bringing stuff up that they don't actually know about, like personal stuff off stream. Just try and get that bite.
Yeah. That's another thing.
People see it a lot.
People bringing out stuff from the outside and just trying to bring it into stream and stuff, which is horrible. I'm not gonna lie, it's horrible because majority of streamers are face cam streamers, and a lot of people, like including myself, once you know that you're not having a good time or like there's something going on outside your life, it's very hard to like flick that switch into going right content mode now. Like I need to be streaming. I need to entertain people. Like I need to do this. Like in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, like that's daunting over me. And then
I feel like a lot of people that stream with cam on, at least certain points in their career, like wish they could have gone back and started as a no cam streamer and gotten to the point where they're at now. But it doesn't always work like that. But yeah, it's definitely tough.
I mean, it's tough even being on camera, to be honest.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Just for people in general, just turn a camera on and play a game. Or I'd be a just chatting streamer, or, you know what I mean? There's certain things you have to take into account, and like where it's live, you have one mistake. Do you know what I mean? Like one, like, you know, wardrobe malfunction or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to be very careful with stuff like that. Which is why, like, I know a lot of people turn their cameras off when they stand up and stuff like that. Just small things you'll see like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. It's like, it's not even in case you have a slip or whatever. A lot of the times there's so many weird people on Twitch that will just clip you standing up. Like, Lulu's used to be that all the time. Like, we'd have like the same people that just clip her like standing up, walking away, and it would just be like multiple clips a day, and you just have to go through and delete them all. It's just like,
it's just gross.
Why? Why?
Yeah, it's just so embarrassing.
Like, how do people get off on that? Like, they're walking out for a room.
Whoa!
Are you that deprived?
Well,
like...
before we go on to the next question, I distinctly remember this when I first started watching her, and I know you remember this as well, and this is going to be a bit graphic, but do you not remember that guy that posted on Twitter her face, and then on the iPad, and then, like, all over the iPad? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can go into that if you like, because I had to deal with all that.
Right, yeah,
like,
go for it.
So she's gone into this a couple times on her like unban request videos. Tunks knows about this. He's pinging me in the chat now. So like on her unban request videos, she's gone into like, she'll go through like all the ban appeals basically, and there'll be a few on there that are like, oh, why did I get banned? And in the mod comments, it'll be me saying gross Discord. And that's all she needs to know to deny it, because basically through, I can't remember what year it was, but it was like peak Apex. I can't remember if it was someone DM'd me on Twitch being like, yo, I saw this on Reddit. And it was basically like a subreddit of a bunch of people that were like trying to deep fake pictures of Lulu, and they made a Discord group and they were like sharing pictures and stuff, and it was like before AI or anything. So they were like physically editing the pictures, like, or trying to, but they were awful. Like, I still don't get like the appeal of trying to do that, like, even if it looks real, but it just looked so like fake that I just didn't get it. But anyway, so I found the Reddit they were talking about, and then found the Discord that they had shared and they joined it. There was probably like 40-50 people in this Discord that was just sharing pictures. Yeah, they were like posting screenshots from her stream. One person saw her in real life, like just in Austin, took a picture of her, posted it in there. And then there was a bunch of them sat in the voice chat, like all having a good time together. So that was interesting. So anyway, I went through the I basically went through the entire server list, because like anyone could join it because they posted the Discord link on Reddit. So I joined it, went through the entire server list of Discord usernames, and probably 20 or 30 of them had their Twitch accounts linked to their Discord. So
tough.
I just went through and banned all of them in like every single stream that I was modding, which at the time was like, I think I'm modding like 30 streams or something still. And I just went and banned them everywhere. And occasionally they pop up like, yo, why am I banned? And it's just like, you can see it in the mod notes, is like they were in that Discord. And I think there was 3 of those Discords.
3
that had to get shut. Yeah, there was 3
3
servers.
Discords.
I had to get them shut down. I basically reported it all to Discord with like a massive essay and pictures and shit, and it's just like they shut down, but they kept coming back up.
Jesus.
But yeah, it was pretty grim.
It's awful. Yeah, but I remember that photo. It was you can use your imagination, but the iPad had her stream open, and he'd like on the iPad.
Yeah.
Which is just insanity. That is just absolute insanity. And I remember she always used to do like fit checks, and like people would say like, "Oh, why are you
doing it?
Yeah, why are you covering up?" And like, or she would cover up, and people were like, "Oh," like they'd have a go at her and be like, you're showing too much, or you're getting your knee out, or like
Yeah.
is that really what you're coming into a stream to worry about?
It's insane. It is insane. Like you just can't do anything right as a woman on social media. I feel like there's always something. There's always something someone's going to complain about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're wearing something and your shoulders are out. It's like, yeah, and
It's
I live in
just
Texas.
madness.
It's 40 degrees Celsius. Like, what do you want?
It
like,
is madness.
Yeah,
absolute madness. That is crazy though. 3 Discords you had to shut down.
Yeah, that was insane times. And then like you can imagine her like message requests on Twitter aren't much better.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
it's just insanity. How do people like live their life doing that? Like just go and do something with your life. Honestly, like what are we doing? What are we doing? It's crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine what AI is doing now. I mean, I don't know if you've seen online currently what's going on.
I've seen the Grok stuff on Twitter. Yeah. That's like obviously really bad, but it's nowhere near what other AI programs are doing. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw someone.
I don't know.
Yeah, talking about that, I saw someone do that with not Grok. They did it like what was it? It was like a girl, and she said that the guy had like used her image and then like said what he wanted the AI to do, and it like put her in like this like really revealing like skirt thing, and she DM'd him saying like, can you take this down, like this is not me, this is disgusting. And he was just like being smug about it, saying like he's gonna go do like what he wants with the picture pretty much, and there's nothing you can do about it, which is just like, that is just insanity. That is just crazy. Insanity.
It is crazy. I've seen it a couple of times this week on Twitter.
Yeah,
from a few different people complaining about it, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There needs to be some sort of punishment. Legal recourse, but I don't know if they're ever gonna enforce it.
I don't know what good can come of it, any of it. I can't lie. Like the use of it, it's just insanity. I mean, like, I don't know if you saw that viral kangaroo video, and everyone thought that was real.
Oh yeah,
and it turned out to be AI.
Yeah, I did see that one.
Like, that is just madness. That is just
it's at a point now where a lot of it is very passable as real, and it's kind of getting scary.
It is.
Like even like a year ago, it was like everything looks fake that it's producing, but now it's getting to a point where a lot of it looks real, and you know, like, how are they going to tell the difference?
It's just damaging. It's damaging to like everything, people's image, like just anything about someone. You can just make up what you wanted. You can just make up whatever you want, and it's just insanity. It's just going to take over.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll see how that turns out. We went on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah.
A little bit.
Okay, third question. What's some of the pros and cons of being a PA?
Pros and cons. I'm quite, I wouldn't say nosy, but I like being behind the scenes and getting to know stuff that other people don't, if that makes sense. So like being in the conversations with like brand deals and stuff, and knowing what money's going where, and what people are doing before it's announced. I like secrets, basically. So, you know, like it's pretty cool to be involved in all like the behind the scenes stuff, knowing what people are doing, like what brands are signing what people, what orgs are signing what people, what events are coming up. All that kind of stuff is really cool to get to know and be a part of. I've obviously been to a lot of events where I've got to talk to brands and stuff while we're like recording videos and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Like TWITCHCON, was it Vegas? I think it was Vegas a few years ago. We did a sponsor with State Farm for Lulu, and that was pretty cool. We were there like recording for a couple of hours and talking to the guys and that was pretty fun to be a part of. Yeah, so it's just like pros wise, just being involved in everything sort of behind the scenes.
Getting behind the scenes, yeah.
It's way easier than the job I was doing as an electrician. There's no physical, there's really no physical stuff. So like, you know, it's night and day difference in terms of like how easy it is to do if you're organized. Cons wise, I don't know really.
Time zones,
Sometimes
maybe.
Yeah, time zones. Although it's not too bad now. Now that I don't have to go to work like at 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
I can just adjust to whatever I need to do. I'm not staying up till 5, 6, 7 a.m. like I used to do. Ridiculous sleep schedule that wasn't needed. So I can still go to bed at like 2, 3 a.m. and then I get up at like 10, 11. So time zones aren't that big of a con nowadays.
Yeah.
But there's like some stuff that is annoying sometimes, but
Just small things.
It's tiny stuff. Like
Small
when you
things,
compare it to like having a real job.
Yeah, like a full-time thing.
It's really not big at all.
I think as well, I was talking about this before, but behind the scenes of stuff is so interesting. Like that's why I think all them documentaries do so well, like the Formula One ones, the football ones, like celebrities and just stuff like that. I remember speaking to Duncan about it. Like they would just do so well because people are just so interested and intrigued about like what goes on. Do you know what I mean? Even if
100%.
like you like let's just say in another world, you started doing like behind the scenes of it, but you just didn't talk about like pricing and just like how much they'll get, like the creators getting paid or how much you're getting paid or whatever. If you just did it where it was not about the money, it was more about, oh, I got to speak to this person, this is the CEO of this brand, and this is what they want, this is the deliverables. You know what I mean? It'd be like interesting to understand how to grow in making sponsorships for your stream or just like in content, and how to talk to these people, because be honest, it's hard, it's difficult. Like, I remember when I got first asked my rates and I was like,
not a clue.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I genuinely didn't know what to say. Like, I was just like, well, I've got a media kit. I think I had a media kit at that time. Tell her before I had a media kit. But even then, before that, it's hard to like figure out what you're gonna say about rates, and it's also difficult because people get very scared with dealing with sponsorships, and they're like, well, if I say this, then they're just gonna say no, and they're just gonna cut the whole thing. They're probably not gonna do that. They want you. They want you to do something for them, and all you're telling them is, okay, this is how much I realistically would want for this. What I'm gonna do, or this is nice, but could I add this or that sort of thing? And you sort of have to negotiate. But it is daunting to negotiate with like big companies that aren't like I've got a budget and are telling you, okay, this is what we want you to do, but like we want you to do it for this, and then you're not happy with it, or you're not happy with some of the deliverables or whatever it is. Like, it's very hard being just a smaller streamer or just a streamer in general, thinking about what I'm going to reply to them, because you don't want to come off badly, or you don't want it to come off in like a where you're just asking for too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Especially as smaller content creators, it's very hard to start out even just having those conversations, because you don't know what you're worth essentially. And a lot of people sell themselves short or agree to do stuff for no money, and they shouldn't do that. Like, if a brand's offering you exposure, they shouldn't be doing that. That's taking the piss. You should be paid for what you're doing for them, because it's you that's giving them exposure. And it, like, even doing stuff for like free products, which I know a lot of people when they're starting out are happy to do that. You shouldn't just be doing it for free products. They should be paying you as well, even if it's not a lot. There should be some sort of money to go into it, because they're a massive brand. They have the money. A lot of brands do try and take the piss a little bit with smaller people that don't really know what they're doing, or it's their first brand that they're dealing with. So I think it's definitely tricky when you're smaller and starting out with brand negotiation. I know a few people that have been doing it for a few years that are very good at negotiating, like similar size to you. Like they're negotiating stuff, and then their friends that are negotiating the same deals are doing it for like £100, when they're getting like 1,000 or 2,000, and they're the same size. They're just better at negotiating. So yeah, I definitely feel you on that. It's tricky when you're starting.
I think it's a big topic though, where people don't understand, like, get when you have sponsorship. Like for me, I'm not going to sit and say I've had loads. I've had a few, but I'm saying for me in general, when I got first asked my rates, I was like,
oh yeah,
I don't know what to charge. I have no idea what to charge. Yeah, it definitely does. And to be honest, that was the first time that happened. Most of the time, they're like, right, we'll give you this. This is what we want. And then you can go, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm happy with that. Or I could, you know, I might ask for a bit more or whatever you want to do off that information. Because they've given you, like, the ball is in your court. Like, you can just say whatever. Whereas if it's like, give us your rates, it's just like open. Like, you don't know what people are going to charge. Do you know what I mean? You kind of have to, like, do it in a way that's not taking a piss, but not undercutting yourself at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like you've kind of got to be a bit cocky with it, and kind of oversell yourself a little bit. I was watching Gary V on TikTok the other day, and he was talking about how, like, his first speaking gig was like in front of a university or something like that, and they were like, "Oh, what's your rates for you to come and talk here?" And he was like, "Oh," he had no idea. He's just like, $5,000, and they were just like, "Yeah," straight away. And then he was like, "Oh shit, I should have said 10." You know, and like you've kind of got to be a bit ballsy with it. I know, like what you're saying about, like, you're kind of scared, like, that they're gonna say no and then pull out, but they're probably just gonna counter offer.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of got to be a bit brave with it, and, you know,
you definitely
sort of value yourself a little bit.
Yeah, it's also good to rely on other creative friends as well that have done it, because that's what 100%. I did when I first did it. Yeah. I asked Lucas what he would, like, ask for this, or like what he thinks, and he said to me, he asked me what the max I would charge and then what the minimum I would charge, and then he said just go somewhere in the middle, and I was like, okay,
that's fair.
But yeah, there's definitely times where I've done that and I thought, I could have asked for a bit more. But every brand has a budget, so if it's at their budget we're offering them, they're just going to be like, no, we can do this, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to be more than what they offered you in the first place, because they're trying to lowball you. They're not just going to offer you that highest amount at the start, are they? They're going to offer you the lowest they want you to do it for, and then go from there. Which is why it's hard when they ask you for rates, because you're like, crap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it, like, with Lulu stuff. Like, obviously, without getting into numbers, it's like, like with her agent, they'll come in and be like, oh, do you want to do this? Here's the amount, and then, like, an hour later, they're like, oh, we've got it for 20% more. Like, do you want to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, you definitely got to have your numbers, and it's obviously different with an agency because they know what they're doing. But
yeah. I think it's definitely good to rely on people though that will help you decide what.
Being able to have that open, like, conversation with people in the industry that are, like, either similar size, bigger, or whatever, and, like, their experiences is crazy.
Yeah,
it's such like a massive sort of buff on your progress, because you can bounce off of their experiences and, like, what they've done, sort of how much they charge, kind of thing.
Yeah, because I'm sure, like, once they open up rates for everyone, it's like you can do. That's just an open field of people asking for different amounts. Like, you could get paid like X amount, and then someone could get double you, and like what you were saying, and they're the same size as you. And that's just because they're better at negotiating than you. And, you know, people are put off by, like, bigger companies coming to them, because it's like, it's scary. Like, you don't want to undercut yourself, but you also don't want to take the mick where you're charging way too much, or then you think, oh, I've charged that, but are they going to come back and work me again? Or, like, how does it work? Do you know what I mean? It's very daunting asking, like, a small streamer, like, oh, how much did you charge for me to do this? Do you know what I mean? It's very like hard to get your head around that, because, you know, it's like what you for a PA, like, you're not gonna know. Like, you're just a person who sits behind a camera doing X, Y, and Z, and now someone's offering you to do something. They want your rate on how much you're willing to do that for. Do you know what I mean? It's hard negotiating. It's hard.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Because they try and change the goalposts.
Oh, they're gonna give you as little as you're happy to take.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
It's a hard
business
one
at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's a difficult one. It's a very difficult one. But I think as well, they like maybe not bigger company. I mean, any company, to be fair, a lot of companies will do it. They try and take the mick out of streamers because, like what you said, they'll say, "Oh, can you do this?" And you're like, "Well, what am I getting out of it?" Like, "Oh, we just want you to promote this brand," and it's like, "Well, no, I'm not going to do that. Unless you're paying me to do it, no." And that's, that might sound like I'm being big-headed, but that's just genuinely the case. Like, I want to go up to you and say, "Hey, Tempie, do you want to just quickly run this half marathon with me?" And I'm not going to give you anything for it. I'm just going to ask you to do it. You're not going to do it, are you? Or go up and say, "Oh, can you just run across the road and get me a drink?" You're not going to do it if it's a random person asking you, are you? What are you going to do it for? There's no incentive for you to do it. Like, it's just like there has to be some form of like promotion or just what it is, which is why orgs, which is another topic about orgs, is the majority of orgs, not all, the majority of orgs, especially after smaller streamers, will go after a smaller streamer. They'll say, "Hey, we'd like to have you on our org. This is what we're going to offer you." And 9 times out of 10 is not payment. No, then there's no form of payment to being on their org. But before I go into that, they want you to put a logo in on your stream, like flashes up. They want you to have like chat boxes every 30 minutes promoting them. They want you to have it in your panels. They want you to change your name. There was one, I won't say the name, but they offered me what I'm asking. They asked me to change my Twitch name, which when I first spoke to them, I said, like, you realize that I'm not going to do that, right? As in, like, it's not just an easy, like, oh, I'm going to change my name, and then if it doesn't work out, I'll change it back. That's like a big, like, rebrand to change your name. They wanted, like, me to, like, obviously change my name in-game as well. They wanted me to have, like, them in their panels. And the only thing I got offered was £20 a month. £20.
Yeah.
£20 a month I got offered.
Was that a big org or was it like a EU one?
Like a small EU one. A small EU one.
Yeah, well, I know that it's the same deal with big orgs. Like people that you like I'm not a fan of orgs anymore. Like sort of a few years ago when they would pay you a decent decent extra chunk of money every month. Fair enough. Like your exposure for them is like having all their stuff everywhere. But now they pay you nothing to like not a lot. And I'm not too sure how the advertising works nowadays, but back like when Lulu was on NRG, for example, they would have all their sponsors that you have to promote. You don't get anything extra for promoting them, and you can't have any personal sponsors that clash with those brands. So, for example, NRG is sponsored by G Fuel. You can't go and get a Monster sponsorship. You can't go get a GamerSup sponsorship because of G Fuel being NRG sponsor. So the trade-off back then was like they're paying you X amount of thousands of dollars a month to promote all of their sponsorships, but you are limited on what brands you can take. Nowadays, I think they pay you basically nothing, and you might be able to take clashing sponsors, but I'm not too sure.
Depends on the org, I think.
Yeah.
But I've said this to people before about that.
Yeah.
I've said it to someone recently about orgs, and that, like, they'll just try and take the piss out of you. And they if anything, they want, it's more to showcase them than it is to showcase you.
Oh, 100%. Like, again, like, they're a business. They're trying to use creators to get their name out there, to get their brands bigger because they got X amount of reach with all of their creators. You know, like, at the end of the day, I don't think having an org to your name anymore, especially, makes the slightest bit of difference to your growth.
No, I don't think so either.
Unless, maybe if you're like a pro gamer, obviously, like, being on a specific team is different. But, you know, I don't think it makes the slightest bit of difference nowadays.
And as well, you have to have the perks of being on the org, or like even like being partnered with a brand that isn't going to pay you. Like, for example, technology companies, right? 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to be paid by a technology company or tech company to be on their like program, create a program, or be partnered with them. But what you are going to get is all 3 of their products. You're going to get all the new stuff that comes out with them. You're going to get, giveaways to do for your community. You're going to get I know this is probably not that great, but commission, you know, it's not a lot, but it's something. It's better than just nothing. Do you know what I mean? And then you get invited to, like, you know, you might get flown out to an event, or you might get a chance, you maybe not flown out, you might get invited to an event, or, you know, you have that like leverage of like, right, okay, well, I've worked with, let's just say Logitech, for example. I've worked with Logitech, like that's another thing on your CV. Yeah, okay, it's not a paid opportunity and it's not paid like for being with them, but it's the exposure of it, like the exposure of, this person's worked with Logitech, or, you know, they now get all these products for free, or like, you know what I mean? It's them sort of things. Like, none of that's paid, but you're gaining something out of it. You're gaining the equipment, you're gaining giveaways.
Yeah, there definitely is like a benefit of working with brands. Like down the line, you build up your portfolio of who you've worked with for sure. You sort of increase your negotiation baseline kind of thing, really. So there definitely is a benefit of doing that.
Yeah, I just think as well, like, especially when you start, like I said this the other day to someone off stream, like, when you first start, you should never start streaming for money. Like, that's not going to work in your favor, and you'll get found out pretty easily. But you also have to remember, when you do start getting some form of money in, you have to remember why you started, and you never started for the money.
I think it was us. I think we were talking about this.
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, no, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I spoke to, I'm pretty sure it's Lovelier as well about it. The same topic is that, like, when you do start coming into some form of money, you then can't start switching up your morals and going like, oh, I'm just going to do this, and I should be paid for this, and like, when really you have to sit back and think, no, I'm getting some decent exposure from this, and like, do you know what I mean? I could potentially gain something out of doing this, and like, it puts my name out there more, rather than it being like, well, I'm not going to do this unless you pay me X amount.
Yeah, there's definitely a trade-off, especially when you're starting. You kind of have to have a think about it, really. You know, like you say, you definitely can't start with the idea of it all being about money, and you will get found out very quickly, and you're also gonna lose the motivation to keep doing it if you're starting out for money, because growth is slow 9 times out of 10. And if you're only doing it for money, you're not going to see any for a good amount of time. Like, you could be years in and still earning like nothing. So, you know, people that only do it for money, it's obviously it turns into that eventually, or it can. Some people, the passion definitely goes, but now it's your full-time job.
It's kind of like switching it from like a hobby to a business, but you also have to take into the account that, like, you started off as a hobby, so you can't like now just be like some sort of money hungry.
You got to try and hold on to that for sure.
You have to just hold on to like what you're about, because I mean, like, it's tough. It is tough. Like, as much as, you know, people say, oh, like, people do this for money and that, like, if people want to make it, you have to have the money side of it helping you. Like, you have to, like, as tough as that is, and like, you know, that's quite honest and open, like, the money does help, because then it allows you to do more things and like grow your stream more and grow your content more and like progress as a person and as a streamer or a content creator. Because, you know, if you're sitting there and you're not getting the amount you want to get, or you're not earning enough to like survive, you're obviously just going to give up, aren't you? Because you're not
100%.
You're not in a profit, or you're not like gaining anything from it. You're not seeing any growth or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a tough
unless
one.
you're like fully doing it for the passion of doing it. You're going to burn out. You will burn out, and you know, you see it with people a lot.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one, because as much as, like, you know, you want to be true to yourself, there's also like the business side of it and like the money. Like, there's a lot of things to think about in streaming, rather than just being like, I'm just going to sit here and talk or whatever and blah 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 blah. So yeah, I don't know. It's just one of them. It's like, especially orgs, they'll try and take the mick out of you, and like, even some brands will try and take the mick out of you, and they'll just try and like lowball you. And it's always that thing. The analogy I use is like, you know, if I have a burger shop and I'm selling burgers, and you come over and say, hey mate, I'll do these burgers for way cheaper over here, you're probably realistically not going to say, oh yeah, come inside, you can have all my customers. It's not going to work like that, is it? Like, it's probably not going to work like that. Like, no, that would never happen in a real life situation. So it should never happen in like, even like self-promoing, or like, you know, companies start trying to take a mick out of you and try and get you to plaster their brand all over your shop, or like that's the same thing as the burger thing. It's like saying, oh, can I put all my posters for my burger shop that's across the road all over your front of your store?
Yeah,
You're
I'll give
probably
you
gonna
nothing for it.
you're probably
Yeah.
gonna get nothing, aren't you? They're not gonna say yes to that, are they? So
No.
it's one of them where you have to just take it in as like, yeah, you're a creator, but you're also like a person as well, and like, you know, it's not just you're not just like a walking robot. You're gonna do everything for everyone for nothing in return. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough one, especially when you first start as well. It's very tough to get your head around that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Oh, that actually leads into the next question. How do you find dealing with bigger brands / contracts? Also,
It can be really cool.
Yeah,
it can be. Yeah, it can be really cool. You get to sort of see what goes on. There's definitely some drawbacks with like certain brands. Like, obviously, I won't name any names, but like certain big brands that we've worked with over the years are a pain in the ass to work with. But you know, that's a trade-off. There's drawbacks like in everything in life, but yeah, working with big brands can be really cool. It's a really cool experience for the creator. Like, you know, like I think we were talking about it the other day. It might have been you. Lulu got to do an ad for Pringles, and they flew her out, and she got to do an ad for Pringles. And you know, it's like a really cool experience. Yeah, they're paying you, but at the end of the day, like, how often does that come around? Like, yeah, so it can be really cool getting to do stuff like that most people won't get to do, and so it's like core memory of your career. Like, it's a really cool experience to get to be a part of, like a proper TV commercial. Yeah, so yeah, I feel like some of the experiences are really, really, really cool to be a part of, but you know, some brands are really, really picky. One of my biggest pet peeves is like, they want you to do a piece of content from a stream. They're like, completely up to you. Like, use your creative like mindset on everything. So you do all that, you submit it, and they're like, oh yeah, actually we want this completely entirely different thing. And it's like, well, you said use your creative freedom to build this piece of content with no guidelines. Like,
yeah,
why don't you just say what you wanted? Like,
yeah,
that's one of my big pet peeves. It's like when you've done something and it's like it's taken you a while to do it, like you don't have a lot of free time to sit and record something. That's one thing with Lulu is like she's really busy, so like trying to get a unique piece of content off stream, off of video, whatever, is a big chunk of time that you don't really have. So if they then turn around and go, oh, we want you to re-record the whole thing, it's like we've just wasted like an entire day of time that we could have been doing something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like, especially when brands do that, they majority of them will give guidelines, but some of them will just be like, no, just do what you want, basically. Which is, I think it helps that creators though if you do actually say like, oh, you know, maybe not exactly what we want, but here's an example of what we've accepted in the past. Then you can kind of use like ideas from them, or like see how they scripted a video, and then you can sort of base yours around your content and your community and the way you normally do videos. And then you know
100%.
they're going to accept it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which, and a lot of brands will do that, right? I know a few I've worked with where they're like, yeah, they'll say like, anything you post, before you post it, send it to us, and then we have to approve it. That's normal.
Yeah, I mean, all of the stuff we do now is like, obviously she's a big streamer, so it all gets like approved and re-edited and all that kind of stuff. But most of the time, you're right, they do give you like a list of deliverables, like what kind of style they want. But sometimes they're like, oh, it's just up to you, like do your normal content, and then they come back and they're like, we want something completely different.
Yeah,
I hate that. The other thing that annoys me, it doesn't annoy me, but it's just like, oh my god, what is this? Is when they send their brief, and brands are obviously like big money. They put a lot of work into like their advertising and stuff. So like they'll send over their like marketing campaign, and it's like I've had one that was like, I think it was 70 slides on a PDF, 70 pages of like what they want their campaign to be, and it could have been one page with like 8 bullet points of what, like, this is what we want you to do. That's all it needs to be.
Yeah.
But they get like super creative with their marketing stuff, and it's just like it doesn't need that much work. Like, you don't need 70 pages on a PDF that I've now got to read through to narrow it down to 6 bullet points.
Yeah. Sometimes it's it's not knowing the creator as well, as in like it's just like a copy and paste, as in like, oh, each creator's the exact same, and really it's not really like that. You know, people have different ways of editing videos and doing their pieces of content. Like, everyone's not the same, so people are going to come up with different ideas. So it's like, if you don't really know their style of content or what they're about, it's not gonna translate well when they try and do that, because it's like, well, that's not them. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And
There's been a lot of that, like with stuff we've worked on, like, and you can go back for yourself and like look through her ads. It's like, that is cringe because it's not who she is. And that's when it's like the opposite of what I was saying. Like, they're not like, use your creative freedom. They're like, we want you to do this, and it's like, that is not who Lulu is. It's going to come off really cringe, and it happens. They're happy with it, and it is what it is.
Yeah. It's, to them though, it's just the impressions and the face. You know what I mean? The face of like you said, Pringles. Like, people go, oh my god, she did that. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Or like, who's this?
That was a really big one for her, to be fair. Like, the amount of people you see even to this day coming into chat like, oh, I saw your Pringles ad, and it's like, it's still being shown, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's mad.
Like, years later, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is crazy. But yeah, I think it's sometimes difficult for both sides, where they kind of don't know each other, and it's like, what do they want? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes they have these wacky ideas that are like, I mean, I haven't done too many, but like, I'm sure there's companies that have done stuff where they want streamers to do X, Y, and Z, and it's just like, not why, but it's just like, oh, it's a bit like out of the ordinary. Do you know what I mean? Like, how is that going to translate well to what you want the brand to be exposed to? But I mean, if they've got the budget in for it and they want you to do that, then, and you're happy with doing it, then why not? You know?
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of brands like that, for sure.
Yeah. Just depends what brand it is, I guess. Right, I missed one of the questions. I assume Crimp wrote this one. What was TwitchCon like with the gang? How was it being part of the streams?
This TwitchCon, it was probably my favorite TwitchCon I've been to. I'm not gonna lie. I think Amsterdam 3 years ago was probably my favorite until this one. Yeah, it was cool. For those that don't know, I'm really good friends with Clara. I lived with her for 3 months in Texas last year. So it was good to see her again. It's been like over a year since I've seen her. And then I've known Nora since 2018, I want to say. I've never really had a good chance to hang out with her, so it was really cool to be like part of the gang. I'm not too worried about being on stream. I don't really like care about being on stream, but I also don't mind it. So it is what it is. Like, if they want to include me, that's fine. But I think for me, the main thing about TwitchCon is just getting to hang out with people friends you don't get to see a lot. So yeah, it was cool to hang out with them. It was fun to be on stream. Like, obviously, most people know me from Apex, but a lot of Nora's community know me because I've been around for so long. I've been a mod for her since 2018. So,
oh damn, 2018,
maybe
Jesus.
later than that, maybe 2019.
What, when she was like a smaller streamer?
Yeah, when she was still on Rust. Yeah.
Damn, I was like, we met a lot of them then on Rust. Yeah.
So I started out on Rust. And I became a mod for one of my friends who still streams Rust. And that's how I found Lulu, was because they played together once on stream. When she was like, oh, I want to try Rust out, and he was like, oh, I'll show you how to play. Because it's one of those games you kind of need to be taught because it's brutal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I found Lulu. And then when I was mod for him and Lulu, Nora was like, oh, you can be a mod for me as well. Like, you've been around a long time. You're obviously trusted by these other guys. So Yeah, been around.
I think
a
that's a
long
big one
time.
as well. Trusting people with mods as well. That's what I kind of base that off as well. Like, not how many streams they mod in, but like how trustworthy they are, because you don't know, like, you know, again, you don't know what people are going to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm very picky with like
100%.
everyone, even VIPs. And just
Lulu's
in
the
general.
same. VIP's the worst. I think VIP's worse.
What, like picking?
Like people kind of expect it, like if they've been around a long time. We had, I remember a situation. It was over a Discord role of like who was OG. It's like, well, I've been around longer than them, kind of thing, and it just ended up we're deleting this role now just because it's creating unnecessary drama.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But I know what you mean. Like, mods you do have to be selective with, because you know, some people take it too seriously. Some people get a power trip out of it. You know, you do have to be selective.
Yeah,
for sure.
So you trust, right? I know it's
I've seen a lot of shit over the years with mods, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I can imagine.
It's unreal. I don't know what it is. It's just like that little bit of power goes to the head, and you know, they try and start running the show. It's just like, you're not him, bro.
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird one, because it's like, even with a mod as well, it's not, you don't really have to do that much. Really,
you don't have to do anything.
Like, you're not. It's not like, you know what I mean. You do a couple of shout outs, you might ban. Obviously, this is also dependent very much on how big the person is as well, like how big their audience is. But majority of it is just, you know, you might ban someone, you might turn a few people out, or you know, you might give a shout out to someone, or it's not too strenuous. It's just, I suppose, when it's like a lot, like I know when people that do like the play Apex chat and stuff, they just must have a headache constantly.
I couldn't put myself in Kylie's shoes, bro. Like,
oh yeah, I was gonna say Kylie. She was the one I was mentioning.
She's unreal. Like, she'll mod the entirety of ALGS, like start to finish. I just don't like. Obviously, she's paid to do it, but I couldn't. Like, even like Lulu's chat back in peak Apex was bad enough. We were banning like 30 plus people a day. But it's like, you know, that is next level, because it's competitive. Like, all the different teams, little fanboys, are now arguing in chat over each other, and it's just like, you know, I couldn't be doing that.
No, yeah, it's very much like, what's the word? It's just a lot of like, just people just saying what they think they can say. You know what I mean? Just saying whatever they want, and it's just like, it's just crazy. People are just so like open with their mouth. They just say and do whatever, and then they're like, "Oh, I didn't mean that." It's like, well, don't say it in a public chat then. Probably not the best idea.
Keyboard warriors. That's what it is. They think they're safe behind their screen, so they just say what they want, and then they get banned. And they're like, the best excuse is, "Oh, it was my brother. I was in the toilet and my brother typed that." No, he didn't. I've seen 15 of those requests today, and it's not all of them were your brother.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I think that is the most used excuse on Twitch.
I suppose you must get it way more like with bigger creators. Like smaller creators, you don't really get it that much. You know, you might get the odd first time chat and you just ban them. Like, it's not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But, no. Like, I think Lulu's got like 6,500 people banned in her stream.
God.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And like, I think it's at like 1,400 unban requests still pending. So yeah, it's a lot over the years.
God.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Can you imagine that many people just coming through your stream, like 6,500, and you just ban all of them?
Jesus.
It's crazy. Obviously, it's over like 8 years, but
yeah.
Still, like,
I don't know what my ban with this would be like. Probably like 30, maybe. Probably not even that, I don't think.
Yeah, and most of them are just bots trying to sell you like follow bot and shit like that. Yeah.
Bloody hell, that is mad. But I mean, you know, that's just content
big stream of things.
Yeah, big stream of things. And you know, there's a lot of weirdos out there, so that doesn't really surprise me that much. You know what I mean? And that a lot of them are probably new accounts that they've just made off of the other one.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of that.
But what I don't understand is possible ban evader. I assume that is if I have an account and it gets banned and I make a new one, that account is then flagged with possible ban evader.
Yeah, I think it's I think it does do if you make a new one. I think it also does if you say you've got 5 accounts already and one of them gets banned. I'm pretty sure they get flagged as well.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
I've had it. I get troll banned all the time, like in my friends' streams or whatever. But I've had it where like I'll get banned on my Tempie account and then I'll go in on my alt account and I just can't talk already.
Yeah,
it's really weird. Like, yeah, I don't know how it all works, but
because I know, like for example, I know with that you can do shared ban lists with other streamers. So that's what triggers it. So if someone say someone has a ban list with someone
that's
else,
actually something different.
Oh, is it different?
Yeah, potential ban evader is just like if they're banned on another account, but the shared ban one you'll get you can set it up so it's either restricted user or monitored user.
That's the one. Yeah.
So like if I'm banned in your chat and I go into Schmidt's chat or whatever, it will say restricted user, this guy's banned in Wardy's stream. And the rest of chat can't see my name or my chat or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can set that up.
It's kind of like a mini shadow ban.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's good and it's not good. Like some people ban too many people, and it's just like this isn't cross ban worthy. Why are they flagged? Kind of thing.
Yeah. I need to really do it with like I don't think I do it with one person. I think I do it with BB, but like I can imagine. I mean, regardless, if you're being a weirdo in like one of their streams, you're gonna get banned in about 7 or 8. So it's you know, what I mean, everyone's in their same circles. It's not gonna go well for you. It really isn't. 100%. I don't know why people think that. Like, oh, I'll just talk crap to this person, and I'll go and talk to their friend. Like,
yeah, I've seen it so many times. It's like, oh, I didn't do anything to you though. It's like it's irrelevant what I did in someone else's stream. It's like it's inevitable you're gonna get banned. Like,
yeah, just cutting it short.
Yeah,
if you're being weird in this person's stream, why are you not gonna be weird in her friend's stream?
It's a matter of time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like a ticking time bomb, innit? It's just.
Yep.
But some people, I guess. Some people.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. How does your lifestyle differ to working a 9 to 5? So from when you was an electrician to now. I know you spoke about it a little bit before, but
yeah, I'd say have way more freedom to do stuff. Like I can travel kind of whenever I want. Money dependent, obviously, but like I don't have any time constraints because it's all on me to like stay organized. I can kind of do it. I can do it from anywhere, really. So I definitely got more freedom to do stuff. I don't really have a set schedule. It's kind of like, again, just if I've got stuff done, then I'm free to do whatever. Unless it's like a set stream, like sponsor stream. My day-to-day, like outside of sponsor streams, is pretty open. So, you know, it's just down to me. I definitely have less routine, which is one drawback, I think. You don't have a routine of having to get up at a set time, go to work, do your work, have lunch, come home, have dinner.
yeah.
So, you know, like today I woke up at midday and it's like, that's not healthy. Like,
yeah.
I got out of bed at midday and like didn't eat till like, I don't know, 2 o'clock. You know, so less routine I'd say is a drawback, but that's also down to your own discipline. So if you're just being lazy with it, then it's only really your fault, to be honest.
But I also think as well, like it can be like the sporadicness of doing what you do is like you never know like what you're gonna get at a certain time. Obviously there's some structure to it, like a little bit, like you kind of know when a stream's gonna be planned and what time they're doing it, but like you don't know how many sponsorships going to come in, or do you know what I mean, or when you're needed or whatever. It's kind of just like,
yeah, I mean, you kind of being behind the scenes, you have like a big head start. Like most sponsorships are weeks or months planned in advance, so like you know what's coming. But sometimes they're last minute, but not very often.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of do have like everything planned out, and if you're organized, then there's no reason to be caught out by any of it.
Yeah, I get you though. It is like the structure of not having a routine of like I'm going to work at this time, I have to get up at this time, I then eat at this time, and But
Yeah,
I mean,
I think with it being NA time zone as well, like I could not get out of bed until 7 p.m. and be fine. Like I wouldn't miss anything because work technically hasn't started.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think because it works sort of backwards with the time zone, it's a bit easier to fall out of routine.
Yeah, yeah, because you're just open and like loose with like what you can do, pretty much, in it. Really,
Yeah.
it just doesn't really matter as long as you're there at that time for that
Yep.
amount of hours. It's not a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's the freedom as well, right? It's the freedom of being able to do what you want, kind of when you want. Obviously, like you said, money dependent as well.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
still, you have that freedom of not going like, oh, I've got to go to work now, or I've got to get up at this time tomorrow, and I can't do this. So you can kind of do what you want as long as you.
Yeah, I don't have any of that anymore.
Yeah, that's big though. That is a big thing that people kind of take into like, what's the word? They take it for granted. Like when they're allowed to do that, it's like they can just, you know what I mean? You don't have anything to get up for technically, but you know what I mean? You can just kind of do what you want as long as you're, you know, punctual and on time and doing your job still. Is still fine. And it's kind of like work from home, isn't it? Like when COVID happened and everyone got a chance to work from home, it's kind of like you have the freedom of now being at home, and you know you can kind of take the mick a little bit and go to like out for a drink as long as you've done your work. You're not doing anything wrong, are you?
Yeah, 100%.
If you're like slacking off and not doing anything, then yeah. But if you're still doing your work, then it's not anyone's business what you're up to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Right, talking of NA, the next question. Do you think NA streamers find it easier to grow than other regions?
It's a tricky one. I was thinking about this just before we started. I think there's definitely more potential down the line for NA streamers. I feel like advertising is a way bigger industry in NA. You know, there's more opportunities potentially for people to do certain things in NA, for example, sign with orgs and stuff like that, like bigger orgs. Like for example, Ambush moved from Sweden to LA for Team Liquid. That was like one of the things for her signing with Team Liquid was being in LA, so she was available to do like their brand stuff. But in terms of actually growing, I don't know that it is. Feel like it depends on how you're trying to grow. For example, if you're trying to do collabs with people as a form of growing, you look at like the people in Austin and LA, like they've got their groups of people that they all collab with all the time. That's definitely easier because like you look at Austin, there's so many streamers in Austin that you could collab with if you know, if you're in that circle kind of thing. Same with LA. So that form of growth definitely is easier. I feel like any other form of growth is just down to you, and how you structure your content.
Yeah, because you got to think, you know, you can connect with anyone across the world. Doesn't matter what region they're from. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at us. We connect with people from Australia, and that's like 26 hours away from us. Do you know what I mean?
It's literally the other side of the world. Yeah, for sure.
I think from my point of view, I would agree with you to an extent of I do find it can be kind of easier to be an NA, and the reason why is because of obviously income, first of all, like ads and that, you know, you're getting a bit more from ads, so that kind of helps you off when you are starting. Like that's your kind of push to be like, do you know what I mean? Okay, I'm getting it's a hobby, but I'm getting a decent amount. And then how big other people are in NA, it makes it easier to connect with people through like other streamers and just you being in their chats, that you know your viewership could just explode because you've played with someone from like that area. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a trickle down effect.
There's definitely an extent of that for sure.
And there kind of isn't. In Apex, I don't think there's that many massive EU streamers. I'd say. No. I always say it. Probably the two that come to mind are Natty, and obviously she's in NA now, but she does EU hours. And then probably like Shiv. And I can't really think of anyone in Apex.
I'm probably
Mandy.
asked her before she moved.
Mandy,
Mandy
as well.
Yeah,
Mandy. So it's kind of one of them's. When you look at like NA, there's like tons that are like similar viewership. Maybe not as much as them. Maybe not as much as like Mandy and Shiv, for example. But there's a lot of people that are consistently averaging over 100 compared more to E8. Maybe EU. Sorry. Maybe that's different in other games, but in Apex, I feel like that is the main one.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair to say for sure. Definitely in Apex,
especially streamers. Anyway, maybe not content creators, but streamers. There's very like minimal. I mean, G Dolph actually, tell a lie, he's EU as well. He does good numbers. He has big numbers. Stallman actually as well. That's another one.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like thinking about it, yeah, it kind of is. It definitely is noticeably different. Like most of the creators that I know are NA.
Yeah. I'm a lot of them.
There's definitely something there. I don't know if it's just like the amount of people that are streaming is larger in that region. I don't know.
I think it's just a bigger region, and they're more interested in like Twitch and stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? Also, I think as well. I know this is sound crazy, but like in EU, obviously, it's different like cultures and languages, and like the way people interact with chats, and like just the banter and just that sort of thing. Whereas NA is so big that it's like everyone's gonna kind of understand the like similarities and can relate to streamers. Whereas like EU, it's gonna be hard for someone to relate from like England to someone from like Italy or something, for example. Like that's a bit of a weird example, but my point is that they're like completely different countries and also completely different languages. That like some people don't want to, you know, watch English speaking streamers. They only want to watch Italian speaking streamers, or I mean, you have that barrier of like language and also culture differences as well, and just how people are, because everyone's different. You know what I mean? Every country is different to the way they do things. Like just the person, do you know what I mean? How they take banter or how they do their work in life, or it's all like a very vast and open like thing. Whereas NA is obviously such a massive region, but everyone is similar. Do you know what I mean? So everyone kind of gets on and understands what's going on with streamers and can relate to them as well. But I think that might be the main one.
Definitely.
That might be the main one. Obviously, there are big EU streamers, of course there are, but I feel like it is a tad easier on NA. And also as well, funding wise, as in like being able to do like tournaments and like hosting events and having like exposure. The exposure's bigger because they've got more revenue to do that stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Like, that is definitely one of the positives of being in NA is the exposure and the opportunities that they have are way bigger than EU. Like, for example, Lulu's talking about moving country, and one of the big topics, like between her agency and like me and her, between that is like, can you still get to LA in a good amount of time to do brand deals? Otherwise, it's going to really affect you. You know, like that is a big thing for NA creators for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how quickly you can like get back to places. Because it's tough, like, you know, most of your income and like a lot of your opportunities are coming from X place, then you're gonna want to be close to them. You're gonna want to be like around that. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to like rip yourself away from that because you're then missing out on a big chunk just because you've moved somewhere. So it's like the pros and cons of moving somewhere, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, next question. Is there anything that Lulu or other big creators do that you would encourage smaller streamers to do?
I think it's different. It's different for everybody, but that's a tricky one as well. It's different for everyone, but I think consistency across all platforms is massive nowadays. Lulu obviously blew up with Apex, and she blew up streaming only Apex. She didn't even start doing YouTube videos until like 2 or 3 years in. So you know, like it's different with the times, but I feel like now it's you have to be consistent with all of your content across the board. In my opinion, I wouldn't suggest anyone go all in on streaming and nothing else, especially if you can't afford an editor. You should probably stream less and spend more time editing yourself, so you can post on everything.
Yeah, learn how to edit.
I think that's the move nowadays. Yeah.
I think you know what's funny about that as well. I could ask this question to 100 people, and that I guarantee at least 98 of them would say the exact same thing as what you just said there. Is that like a lot of people go all in on streaming and they don't post anywhere else. They're just like for example, Dunk. I know he was just like very adamant and very like driven on, if you're a streamer, please just post on other platforms.
Short form content is the only way you're going to grow.
Yeah.
Unless you're like top 3 in the world at something, or like, you know, even then it's probably the short form content that's driving people to you nowadays. Like clip farming is so massive now that it's like the growth. Like you look at Jinxie, Queso, Kai, all of those guys that blew up over the last like 3-4 years. Most of it is from 15-second clips pulled by people that are posting them on their own channels. Like people that post like clippers, like, is such a big thing nowadays. People are making 6 figures posting clips of other streamers.
Yeah, on TikTok and stuff.
You know, and the streamers just like, back in the day, you'd be like copyright striking people for doing that because they're stealing your content. When now you've got people like Mr. Beast, like, it's free exposure. They're telling you, like, just let them do it. Like, it's all going to funnel back to you because you are the content.
Yeah.
And that's how you blow up nowadays. Like, even the Twitch CEO saying 70% of growth comes from outside of Twitch.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes sense. You have to be putting in the effort on other platforms.
You do.
Because that is the way to grow.
You can get some success on Twitch, but I think the majority of it is
100%
is off stream. But yeah, like the whole clipping stuff, like I know a lot of people make tons off that. Clipping big streamers, they'll just clip their moments and they sit there and that's all they do throughout a stream. 6-hour stream, they'll be clipping like 100 things and they'll just post it everywhere. And at least one of them videos is going to do well. And then they start gaining followers, and then they, you know, in turn, the content creator then gains followers. They're like, oh, who's this person? And yeah, I agree. Clip farming is like the biggest thing at the minute. The biggest thing. Sure. But it can get twisted into being cringe as well, which is also the other bad thing about clip farming. Is that like people would do things
out of context stuff, for sure.
People would do things out of context, and also like just because they think a clip will go viral, and it sometimes bad, like it's not like a good thing that they're doing. They're just like, I remember one guy was like going around like what was he doing? He was like RKOing like homeless people, and it's just like, what are you doing?
That's a kick streamer, I can tell you now.
It was. He was like pushing people over and like. Just like, come on, mate. Like, there's content, and then there's just like you've just been a dick. Like, it's probably going to go viral, but what are you going to get out of that? You're just going to get a lot of hate, and you're not going to get anything out of it. You're just being a horrible person. Like, just being a horrible person.
Yeah, no, there's definitely certain people that are trying to clip farm that are doing it for the wrong reasons. Yeah, and they're just, you know, they're sort of rage baiting people by being dicks in real life.
Yeah, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. But I mean, you know, short form is king. Short form is the way forward.
Definitely is nowadays.
A lot of people spend a lot of time on long form, and it doesn't really pay off.
I wouldn't even recommend doing long form if you're just starting out. It takes so much time to do. Yeah. And you're gonna get very minimal views, where you can post a 15-second clip, have to do no editing, and it can get hundreds of thousands of views. Yep. I know what you're saying with Dunk, like, it's sometimes like the stuff that took the least effort goes the most viral for you to edit. So you could spend 2 days, 2 weeks on a video, and it gets 100 views. You could clip something and not edit it at all, and it goes viral. Yeah. The short form's definitely worth doing.
TikTok's always the one as well.
Oh yeah. Instagram's interesting. Sometimes sometimes stuff goes viral, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, Insta is a very strange one. It's also good to learn, like, one, how to edit, and two, that like just because it does bad on one platform doesn't mean it's going to do terrible on another one. Like sometimes the algorithms are different. Even if you use the same hashtags, use the same wording, use the same edit, like the exact same video, copy and paste on two different platforms could just outperform. I don't know why that is. It might be the algorithm, the time you posted, like whatever it is. It's just one of them. Like
luck of the draw.
Yeah,
there's definitely some like rhyme and reason to how stuff goes viral, but a lot of the time it is different across different platforms, but also you just got to be doing it.
Yeah, it's just I see it all the time. I see it all the time. I didn't know people posting on the other day, like some guy was like, just look at the difference. He was averaging like, let's just say 5K on TikTok. On Instagram it was like 40K, 40, 50, 60K on every video. And he's like, look at this. I mean, even one of mine, for example, one that I was tagged in, like the one that Ed Boy Gaming did, where he clipped my reaction to him doing a unicycle.
Oh, yeah.
And he posted that on everything. On TikTok, it got 50K. On Instagram, it got 3.2 million.
Yeah.
So it's like that. The difference in that is just gigantic. And I had so many people messaging me like, I saw you on this video. And I was just like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's mad. It's just mad that like a video can do something like that on one platform, but on another platform, it just flops. And technically it's not, 50K is not a flop, let's be honest, but compared to 3 million, do you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
That's why it's worth having all these platforms, because you don't know. You don't know what's going to do well on what, even if you just use the same hashtags or whatever it is. It's just the consumer in it, really, at that given time. And I think Instagram Reels are actually becoming a bit bigger now as well.
Yeah.
They're becoming a lot bigger.
I haven't really looked into it too much. But I know Snapchat's a massive one as well now.
Yeah. People
are making buying content. I don't know if they still are, but I know they were making ridiculous money.
Yeah. I might have to get into that. I have to.
I haven't used Snapchat yet,
it's just I haven't used Snapchat in ages either. It's just one of them things. It's like a canvas of how many different places can I get my face at a different time and get exposed to.
Yep.
Why would I choose 2 when I can choose 7? Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter.
It's also you can make it easy on yourself too. Like a lot of people get overwhelmed with like, oh my god, I got to post to 5 different websites. There's ways of doing it automatically. Like I think there's one thing called, I think it's repurpose.io. You basically log in with all of your platforms, you upload it once, and it just posts it to all of them.
Yeah, I've used that before.
Yeah, like I haven't used it yet, but I saw a video about it the other day. I was like, oh my god, that's so much easier.
No, I've used it before. The only issue is with that is that I find some platforms reward you more if you post it off your phone rather than doing it off the PC, which I don't get how that is, but it's definitely a thing. It is 1,000,000% a thing.
I've seen that with TikTok. Like, someone said it's better for you to record it in TikTok than to upload a video to TikTok. Like, if you're recording it on your iOS camera, it does worse than if you record it in TikTok.
Yeah.
Which is like, how?
Yeah,
but apparently it works.
I think that's why, obviously, you don't watch a lot of FIFA YouTubers, but like FIFA in general. So, say for instance, you're just showing something on FIFA. That's why people film with their phone on FIFA. I don't know what it is about that like tactic of doing that rather than just, actually screen recording compared to me just getting my phone and going like, this is what this is and this is what this is. For some reason, them videos seem to do better than if you just screen record it. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's weird.
What it is, but it's just something to do with. And I mean, even now, I post everything off my phone. Everything I post is off my phone, and I don't know what it is about. Like, I don't know if it's just the browser you're using, or if it's just like they don't like you posting it on there. They want you to do it off the app because that's their main like consumer. I don't know what it is, but
I think it's the dislike of using third-party stuff as well.
Yeah.
Some people have said like TikTok streams, if you don't do it through Studio and you do it through another way, then you get less viewers.
Yeah. If you use like a stream key, if you use a stream key and go through like another, because like there's OBS plugins when you have a stream key and you stream off that rather than streaming through their actual like.
Yeah, they push you less.
Yeah, they push you less. Yeah. But TikTok is a weird one. It's a very weird.
TikTok is a weird one.
Place for streaming.
My algorithm's stuck on at the minute. Like people like, how do I get out of 300 view jail?
Yeah,
and it's just like, it seems to be a very common thing where people only get 300 views on videos.
It's around like 300 to 500, I think, and they don't get pushed anymore.
Yeah,
but every platform's different. Like YouTube's completely the opposite of that, pretty much. YouTube is like you upload a video, it will get like, let's just say on average 500, and then 2 weeks later it's on 6K, and you're like,
Yep.
why does that happen then?
I found out as well with YouTube, like it will push way later.
Yeah, it takes about 3 days.
When I used to do, well, even sometimes even longer than that. Like when I used to do short form for Lulu, before she got a new editor, I did one for like the Diablo 4 launch, and it did nothing, and then 6 months later it had 600K, and it's like a very average, like she's just running around Diablo. It's like, why has that gone viral?
I think
But
it's
on
more
YouTube, it's like later down the line too.
It's also on YouTube as well. It's about like search, what's the word? Like not search history, but like how popular it's going to be on results. So say for example, what you said about Diablo. So they brought a new Diablo out, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Diablo's coming out!" And then they type that video, and then her video comes up. She's instantly on the front page of like
maybe
everything about Diablo. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe
It's
there was
stuff
an
like
expansion come out or something.
Yeah, it's stuff like that where people are interested in, oh, Diablo again, or they click on a Diablo video, then it starts recommending them other Diablo videos, and they're like, oh my god, like the new one's coming out, I'm really excited now, I should go check out some other people playing it, or what was the old one like, or what was this like? And then obviously shorts are easy to consume, aren't they? So they just do way better.
Yeah.
But again, goes back to shorts being just the king.
Short form's king.
Okay, next one. How do you think some of your friends and bigger streamers went viral?
Okay. Let me think of an
So obviously
example.
everyone's different, aren't they? Like everyone has their own like breakthrough moment, or
again, it's definitely down to subjective. Depends on you at the time. Again, I mean, it's just like you're either really good at a game, you've got a good personality, and people want to stick around, and you sort of grow over time. You collab with bigger people, and that gives you exposure, or you clip farm and go viral. I think that's probably top 4.
Yeah,
I can think of.
Yeah.
You know, like you think of like all the pro Apex players that I know. They're obviously big because they're in the top of the top competitive
of the
scene,
games,
top of the scene of pro Apex. And they streamed like all of their progress through it, and you know, Apex is a good content sort of scene with like all the tournament stuff. I mean, you look at all Dunk's content over the years, like honestly, like TSM, all the TSM content he did was probably like the reason Apex is so prevalent in the content scene, if I'm honest. Like, and now he's working with Apex on their actual tournament, so
yeah.
I feel like that kind of stuff helps you blow up. If that's your content, is like you're a pro at a game. I don't know, like I'm trying to think who went viral or you know has just grown over the years.
I was gonna say maybe not viral, as in, because I feel like viral is like instant, like you have 1 or 2 videos and it bang, like your viewership is like quadrupled. But I mean,
I feel like the only way that happens is clip farming.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not overnight.
No.
Like you look at like Jinxie and Queso, all of their stuff.
Yeah, that was what I would describe as viral. Like they went from like very low viewership to like massive, like worldwide, like known people now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at like Kai Cenat, for example, he's went from, I don't know when he started streaming, but now he's like at all the big award shows and he's meeting like famous celebrities and like, you know what I mean? He's like, that's like viral.
It's really cool. It's really cool to be able to see like people like Kai doing that now, because I don't know, like can you imagine anybody going to like award shows for like standard media?
Yeah, back in the day that would never be a thing.
Nah.
Never ever be a thing.
Or having like famous people on your stream.
Yeah.
Like that's just like next level.
It's mad. No, it is mad. And then you obviously get that connection of knowing them and stuff like that. It's just crazy. It shows how big like content creation pool is though. And like how big streamers and like content creators do actually have like impressions wise. Not just let's get like X, Y, and Z who's got nothing to do with the brand we're working with, or like, you know, whatever we're doing, and then we're just going to put their face on it and hopefully it does well.
Yeah.
Like I remember Dunk was talking about the Adidas campaign, and he said that their clip of Speed and Kai scoring that goal at the charity match got like one of the biggest numbers of impressions they've ever had on a campaign, and it was just 2 content creators who just scored a goal. And then when he made a video about it, and it got like 5 million views or something. And all he did was
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, all he did was speak about what they were doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And just
it's
talk about
definitely content creation is definitely like getting up there with like the biggest. Well, I mean, it probably is the biggest media nowadays.
Yeah,
gaming and content creation and all
Definitely.
that kind of stuff. Like short form's king. Like all the kids are on TikTok and all that stuff, so it's like they all know who everybody is. It's just us old people that are like, "Who's this?"
Yeah. They're like, "Who's that?" And you're like, "Oh, is this person? They do this." Or that. Oh, okay. I think it's just the older generation kind of don't understand like the wave of like where celebrity and like media and influence is going now. Everyone sees influencers just a celebrity who's doing X, Y, and Z for this company or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, now, like, oh, David Beckham's done this or so and so." Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
obviously David Beckham is like huge, but I mean like these people that are just like are actors and are just coming up and coming, and they start getting popular, like pretty much the same as like a content creator doing the exact same thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, they probably have bigger reach than them, because an actor, you're only really going to watch them in a film and go, "Oh, that was a good film, I like them," but then you're not going to go and follow them or like follow any of their other films they're doing majority of the time.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So
yeah, it's a different game.
Yeah, it is. It's different. It's a different like vibe of. It's a different vibe of how like the world's going now, to be honest. But yeah. Okay, next one. Do you enjoy being in the content creation world? Pros and cons again.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't. You know, you're exposed to people from all over the world. I'm friends with people from all over the world now. You know, got to go to a bunch of cool events, traveling everywhere, meeting people that you know you wouldn't normally meet day to day. Just sort of like kind of like this podcast, you get to see everyone's different experiences in the same industry. So yeah, I wouldn't really say there's many cons. Sometimes you get some weirdos that are in your DMs threatening to kill you.
Yeah,
which I've told you about a few times.
Very, very interesting behavior. I was gonna say maybe the con for me sometimes is the people, not all the time, but it's also a pro as well. That's the problem. Is that people is the pro and the con?
100%.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah, the weirdos that you have to deal with is definitely interesting. But you know, most of them aren't really going to do anything.
I think the pro of the people is like how much reach you can have to other countries and different people you never would ever even talk to, because there's no way of you meeting them. There'll be no way of you even interacting with them ever if you wasn't online. Do you know what I mean? But then obviously you also have the flip side of that being the con, as where the more you open up about your life, the more exposure you have to people being weird and being strange towards you. Do you know what I mean? Like the amount of stories you get of people that are like invasion of privacy and boundaries is a massive word.
If you want.
Huh?
We can go into that.
Yeah, you can go into it if you want, mate. Go crazy.
Yeah, so like, yeah, parasocial people is one thing, but stalkers is another. And obviously that's definitely a con of this industry, is like content creators, and I'd say safe to say it happens to both parties, but females in general get way more widows. And like the more you open yourself online to you know, sharing about your life, the weirder people get. So like, you know, I've had certain people take it too far, and it's like, all right, you might actually pose a real risk in person, so you kind of have to, you know, protect yourself a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there's been people that have threatened to come to events in real life, both for like Lulu and for me. Like the one I spoke to you about recently, like, you know, he was sending videos to Lulu, like they were having a conversation when it was all one-sided. He's just talking to himself.
Yeah.
And then like he's talking in chat basically to himself as well, and he thought that my talking in chat was directly talking to him in response, and you know, he started DMing me like we're having an argument. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then like comes to it, he's threatening to kill me. Like he's like, oh, you're going to TwitchCon? Like he saw my TwitchCon badge in chat. He's like, see you there, buddy. And I was like, cool, fucking come find me, see what happens.
Yeah, very strange.
You know, people are weird. And like I've had to help multiple people in regards to like finding out who some of these weirdos are, because they're like seriously worried that they're going to do something in real life. And it happens. Like I'm sure you've heard multiple stories of weirdos moving states to come and live in the same state as streamers, and sitting outside their house or sitting outside their PO box waiting for them to come and collect parcels.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It is crazy work.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, I think people, like, as much as it's kind of one of them ones where sometimes people will let too much of their personal life into their stream or into their content, and it's like it then kind of leaves a door open for people to be weird and that to happen. Not saying they bring it on themselves, because you know, you never know what someone's going to be like. At all. You don't ever bring it on yourself, but sometimes it is easier for your own personal safety and like health that you just don't say certain things on stream, and you don't talk about or post where you are, or just, you know, that sort of thing, which is crazy. But sometimes it's just the way you have to be. No, it matter if you're big or small, you should always treat it as, if I'm doing something, I don't need to tell everyone what I'm doing, where I am, where I'm going, because someone will be weird.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a tricky one. Obviously, you don't bring it on yourself. And I think a lot of people don't realize it until something bad happens.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't really consider not posting what time your flight is to TwitchCon or wherever you're going.
And
then some freak is calling the airline saying your full name and saying you're a risk. And suddenly your flight's cancelled and you're not allowed on it. Like, I've heard of shit like that before.
Like people swatting as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. People sending stuff to your house. Like Lulu had that a couple times. People sending stuff to her house.
Jesus.
Like even her new house, like the one she bought, I think it was like less than a month in, someone sent pizzas to her house.
Jesus.
You know, like a lot of people don't really realize until it happens to them that you do really need to be careful with what you're saying online.
Yeah,
that works both ways. Like,
it does, yeah.
The people being weird don't really consider like they can also be found.
Yeah, like, yeah, 100%.
Like one of the stalkers that was threatening to come to TwitchCon and fight Lulu's fiance. I mean, he's probably the extreme, but he was like streaming himself preaching from the Bible, and then he would randomly open the Bible, read the passage, and then twist it to how they should be married. Like, this is what, like, the Bible is telling us that we need to be together. But what he didn't realize is that I was watching his streams and his Bible had his full name printed on the cover.
Oh
so
my God.
like, they're not very smart. Like, a lot of them are very smart. But you know, like, it works both ways. So
what a donut.
He was a donut.
Yeah.
I've still got a full dossier on that guy, like criminal record, home address, phone number, everything.
Jesus.
It's like once if I'm on the other end of it, once you sort of threaten real life stuff, it's like I'm not stopping until I know who you are.
No, yeah, of course, because then it's like you don't know what they're gonna do. It's like a threat to your life, isn't it? No matter no matter what they're saying, like if you say something serious, I don't know if you're joking or not. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, that's like with me. Like, I'll keep an eye on you, but as soon as like you're threatening real life stuff to like me or people that I know, then dog with a bone. I'm not letting it go until like you're on a list.
You find out, yeah. You find out what they're doing, because it's true. Because you don't know how many people they're doing it to as well.
Yeah,
they might be doing it to one person. We don't know if they're doing it to like 10, 20 people.
No, they usually are doing it to multiple streamers.
Yeah, they normally are.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 they are, because
Mhm.
they're just bored and they just think that's. I don't know what goes through someone's process to think that that is okay to do to someone. I really don't get it, but I mean that's just being online, I guess. It's one of the things that comes with it, that people just don't understand that is just very strange, especially
Yeah, I mean,
threatening
it's just
someone.
yeah. I mean, that's just stupid. He got IP banned off Twitch for that. So
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
yeah,
I'm not surprised.
yeah.
It's easy
I
to
was
find.
just logging everything, and then as soon as he said that, I sent it to one of the Twitch managers, and he was like, "Sweet, I'll pass it on." And he got IP banned for, I think it was like 6 months or something.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. So obviously, like, I'd been watching his stuff, and I knew he couldn't afford to go to TwitchCon for a start. So I wasn't too worried, but as soon as someone starts threatening it, you don't know. Like
No, you don't. Yeah.
people will go to the extreme to make things happen. So
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah,
It's very
all fun and
strange.
games.
Yeah. Until someone starts threatening someone, then it's not. Then you're like, okay,
Yeah.
well, let's just calm down now. Yeah.
Well, it's like the one that was threatening me. It's just like you're kind of weird, and then it's like,
Yeah. It's like,
like
oh,
I know where
damn.
he lives. I know where he lives, and the fact he's threatening my life, and you know, it's kind of like, okay, I kind of need to take it a little bit seriously now, just in case he finds where I live.
Yeah, and then it's just a bit weird. It's just like a game of cat and mouse, isn't it? Really. But it's
Yeah.
also protecting yourself as well, and the other people that like they aren't going to turn up or they're not going to do what they're going to say they're going to do. So
Yeah,
you're
I
taking
mean,
that into consideration.
the worst ones are the ones that turn up and you didn't know about.
Yeah.
So like Vegas TwitchCon, where we had a guy, and it was the first and only weird interaction we've had in person. He turned up with an engagement ring, and was talking about how they'd been communicating telepathically for 2 years, and they were in love, and
Oh my god.
like crazy.
I mean, what did you even do there? Did you just have to call security or?
Yeah, basically. I was vlogging the whole like meet and greet.
Oh, was that a meet and greet?
This is a meet and greet. Bear in mind, so he's in
Oh,
line, and then she's meeting people one on one, and you know, it is very uncomfortable. And yeah, I just like they got like they're not really security. They're kind of like just event staff, like at the front of the line, like taking pictures and guiding people through and whatever. I was like, yeah, can you get rid of this guy?
yeah.
Yeah, and then just sort of went through and found out who he was, where he lived, and all
God,
that stuff.
was that not so
Yeah.
awkward to like just encounter?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like Lulu especially is like really bad at confrontation. So when I was stood like between her, like it was her, him, and then me, sort of at the front of the line, like just like vlogging, and I just saw her face drop, and I was like, "Alright, it's time to get rid of this guy."
Yeah.
And then she slides this engagement ring box over to me. It's just like, "Can you get rid of that?"
Oh God. Flipping hell, that is mental behavior.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, these people need to just have a reality
But those
check,
are the
I think.
worst ones because you don't know they exist. Like he hadn't
Yeah.
been messaging her on anything for years. He just turned up
Just turned up. Yeah.
in his TSM jersey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, obviously an Apex fan.
Yeah. Flipping hell, that is mental.
Yeah,
That's a crazy story.
classic TSM fan.
Right, I've got 2 more questions, and I got a few that I took from chat as well.
All right.
What are some of your personal goals in being online? So, like being in an online world.
A good one. Still kind of trying to make my mind up, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean it's constantly changing. Like, I've been chill, just kind of working for Lulu for years. I did like a little bit of advertising on TikTok, but don't do that anymore. I've been streaming on and off for like 7 years, like very inconsistently. Other content I've posted like 1 or 2 things randomly, but I don't know. Like we were talking about yesterday, like, would I do it full time?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get like bursts of like motivation to start streaming again, and you know,
posting content and whatnot.
It usually comes after TwitchCon, like after you surround yourself with a bunch of people that do it full time, and it's just like I'm gonna stream when I get back, you know, and then it falls off, and you stop doing it and just go back to what you're doing.
That's I think that's the key motivator of all streamers though, is that like it's just having the passion and motivation to do it. It's like just to hit go live and just get a couple of clips. Definitely, you know, you never know what's gonna happen. You generally do not ever know what's gonna happen when you hit live. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You just it's just one of them. You just have to go with the flow sometimes. Sure. But yeah, I definitely understand the passion of like getting it from other people and being around the influence of people that are doing it. I get this. That's one of the main things that helps you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like seeing the community all come together at events like that and hanging out with friends that are big streamers, you know. It's kind of like, shit, I should kind of lock in a bit and try and do something extra.
Yeah, help. Yeah. Because then you have kind of that base community as well, don't you? Like you said, you know a lot of people from Nora's community and obviously Lulu's community and Clara's community and stuff like that. Yeah. So you kind of have the base of like people knowing you from there.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I think networking within communities just by being a viewer is very big if you want to stream. So like, I don't stream consistently at all, but I'll still pull like, I mean, I'm at like 15 average at the minute. Just randomly streaming random things that I feel like doing on the day or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're not in communities, you'll stream for a year and have 0 viewers. I feel like that's another way of starting out is sort of having a little community of friends from different groups.
Yeah, getting involved in other people's communities. But I think sometimes people will see that as like, I don't know, sometimes people will see it as self-promo, not the streamer. I mean, people that are doing it. Like, they kind of get scared to, like, talk about it. And it's just like, if you're in a community and, like, someone's talking about it with you, it's kind of just, it's like an open discussion that you're doing it. Do you know what I mean?
I do get that for sure. I definitely don't openly, like, talk in other people's streams about, like, oh, I'm going live in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I kind of get, like, not wanting to self-promo, but at the same time, like, you kind of get that crossover from just knowing people. So like, you know, like people will follow you on Twitter or whatever, and you'll tweet that you're live, and then they'll come in or whatever. So yeah, I do get that.
I think Twitter's a big thing though about like knowing people, like meeting people through your streaming, because you know people could just be scrolling on Twitter and they go, oh, this person just went live. I didn't know they went live. Or they get up on the recommended on there, or they follow you and then you follow them, and then it's like, oh, okay, I didn't even know this person streamed. And then you go and check them out when they go live, or that sort of thing. And also raiding as well. That's also another one.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Raiding is a big one.
Like raiding is like the biggest hint that you stream. I mean, I don't think there could be any bigger hint that you stream by raiding someone.
That's like subtle self promo.
Yeah, it is.
Raiding someone that you know, or like you're in their community. It's like, oh shit, I didn't know you stream.
Yeah.
I raided Nora the other day. Like that's kind of like a bit of a troll. Like, yo, follow me.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, like their community knows you, so it's like it's not really in the same sense. It's kind of like you have to judge it off, like, you know, if you're the viewership you're raiding into. Do you know what I mean? Like, is it going to be like if you're doing like, let's just say 5 viewers compared to like someone's got 1,000? That's a bit like, it's a bit of a stretch. You know what I mean? But
yeah, you're just trying to pop up in chat as a
some people try that tactic.
Definitely, if you're not in the community, like if I was to go and raid, I don't know, Kai with 20 viewers, I'm just trying to expose myself. Like he doesn't know me, none of his chat knows me. Whereas if I'm raiding like Lulu, Nora, Clara, like they know me, I know them, I know a lot of the community. It's kind of slightly different.
Yeah, 100% it is. And also you're going to get a different interaction because they know you. So it's like, oh my god, like Tempie, thanks so much for the raid or whatever. It's like, it's one of them ones. It's not, you're not doing it because they're their viewership. You're doing it because they're your friend, and you shouldn't feel like bad that you're raiding them because they've got like triple your viewership or quadruple your viewership. Do you know what I mean? It's not. Shouldn't be that case of that. Depending on how well you know the person or not.
Indeed.
Right, we've got one more. One piece of advice you would offer to anyone starting off / trying to grow in content. I think I know my answer for this.
Learn to edit.
Yeah.
Learn
That
to
would be one
edit.
of them.
I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Don't stream 12 hours a day because that doesn't work anymore. Stream less and learn to edit and push content out on everything, especially if you're trying to grow. What else? I don't know. I feel like that's such a big one nowadays. Like,
I think to add on to that,
posting on everything.
add on to that, my one would be yourself.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it for money. Like, don't expect to earn money. Is a big one because you just burn yourself out when you don't earn money in like. I mean, it could be years before you earn any money.
It
like,
is. Yeah.
Do it for the passion of doing it. Definitely be yourself. Yeah, I think learn to edit.
Yeah, learn to edit and be yourself. Because I think if you don't do either of them, you're just going to be stuck. If you try and pretend to be someone you're not, you're going to get found out. Same way as if you're doing it for money, you're going to get found out. Like, there's only so much of a character you can put on. Do you know what I mean? And if you become that character, then yeah, fair enough. But like, if you're completely opposite to what you are online compared to what you are offline, then it's probably not going to work out in your favor, is it? Because there's going to be a time where you're going to have to be yourself outside of stream, and people are going to, oh, this person was really horrible to me, but on online they're really nice. So now what? Do you know what I mean?
You see it a lot, but yeah,
it's like a mask.
It definitely happens, but
yeah,
it will bite you. It will bite you in the long run if you do that.
Definitely.
Just by people avoiding you, whether it be viewers or other streamers, you know.
People will know if you're faking it or not. People are not stupid, especially like circles as well. If you're being weird in one circle, you're gonna get banned in or caught out in every one of the other circles because that's just the way it works.
Yep.
People are going to have friendships. World. Yeah, it is a very small world. Like the amount of people you go in streams, you don't realize that you're like, oh my god, how does this person know this person? Like, what?
Yeah, like you know I hung out with Mithril at TWITCHCON, and I know him from so many other streamers than you.
Yeah,
and it's just like I didn't realize he was in your community until like recently.
Yeah, because he knows Meg and that Meg Swabby, Mark Gaz. He's like in that community.
But not like I don't. It's completely different communities, like to all of Apex. Like, like you don't know any of the streamers that I know from. So it's a small world.
It is very small.
I think it's like people coming in here like, oh my god, Tempie's a mod everywhere. It's like, yeah, it's not a big place.
Yeah, no, it isn't. It isn't. Especially when it kind of starts out as like one game and then it sort of branches off. Do you know what I mean? People meet other people through other games that you're friends with and stuff. Like when AC started going towards GTA and she met Nora. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure that was like one of them ones. It was like, oh my god, that's strange. But obviously they now know each other through GTA. So different games you meet each other from and stuff. Just one of them ones.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's very small. Being online is very. It's very like it can be very big being online. Like the amount of people that you can reach out to, but also very small in terms of like streamer wise and how much people know each other and like oh my god, how does that person know them? Like where does that come from? And you're just like they just know each other. I don't know where they know each other from. They know it from a different community, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
One of them ones that's you'll never really get it. Right, so now we've got chat questions. I have a few that I wrote down.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know if you could answer this one, but I write it down anyway. It's kind of not really a question. I think it was some sloth. They said, I'm very distracted, but need to know a lot of this stuff. I will go back and watch the VOD. Are there any other places /Discord /YouTube I could go to or resources you wish you had? I assume that's like... I assume what he means by that is...
In regards to content creation and streaming?
Yes, I think so. Like, is there any sort of like things
like,
out there
honestly,
that help you?
Like, just seeing how other people do it and like you go into your chat, for example, you've got like
modding. Okay, modding.
Oh, modding.
Bad. Sorry, Sloth, my bad.
I use Chatterino and that's it. Chatterino is good because you can like have as many chats open as you want. Honestly, like modding's pretty easy, but I just use Chatterino. That's it.
We're bigger on YouTube, right? Okay.
Ooh, yeah. I don't really know about YouTube modding. The little amount I did it, I hated it because it was so behind in regards to like stuff you can do.
It is very behind. Yeah, I agree.
Trying to reach out to sponsors. That's tough because I don't do it. Lulu's got an agent, so I don't do outreach. I know you're just getting into that now, Woody. It's just kind of like you kind of have to find out for yourself how to reach these people. I'd say you kind of have to like you're going into it now where you're like trying to figure out the wording of what you're trying to say to brands on reaching out. It's definitely just like practice. I don't know like who's best to reach out to with certain brands. Like you can probably go to their Twitter and reach out to them that way, or find their email on their website for certain people. But yeah, that's kind of like for me, I don't really do that, so I don't really know too much. I think I've never like reached out to a brand myself because we've got agents that do that.
I think my POV for this would be, Sloth, is to if it's you or if it's someone you're doing it for, just reach out to anyone. Just email them. Just go to them and be like, I'm this person. I'd like to work with you because of this reason, and I really like using this, or you know what I mean. You just sort of go. You just kind of have to go to them rather than them coming to you, because you got to think, if you're a small creator or you're just a creator in general, the chances of like a company who's got like 500,000 followers or a massive brand in the world reaching out to you is probably a way less than you just sending a little email going to someone, oh, like I really enjoy this. Is there a way we can, collab together or like be a partner together, or would you like to do a bit of content on blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that would be my advice. Are there any YouTubers that focuses on modding? What do you mean? Or communities? Are there any YouTubers that focus on modding or communities?
People that have made content out of modding?
I mean,
I remember one of Kai's streamers, mods rather, would stream himself modding Kai's chat.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's the only one I've ever seen.
Bloody hell.
Because I remember he caught him. He pulled it up on stream and was watching him mod his own chat. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, that is funny.
No, I don't know really. I don't think there's too much content on moderating.
No, I don't think there is.
I'd say just talking to people on Discord and stuff. Honestly, like I've been in community Discords before where it's like a mod community, but honestly, I'd never really gained anything from them.
Current start streaming has been helpful for his lead mod. Right, okay.
Oh yeah, I think he was at TwitchCon. His meet and greet was right next to Nora's. I think it must have been Kronos that was sat with him. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen that.
Okay. So you're talking about like modding in streaming and like tips and advice for that, right? Is that what I'm getting at here?
You're like kind of like where Sloth said, moving more into a lead mod kind of thing. It's kind of like more behind the scenes stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of just like learning what the specific streamer needs is probably more sort of what you need to do rather than watching content, because everyone's different. Like some people don't need help because they're super organized, some people do because they're super ADHD. It's specific needs, I guess.
Yeah, looking more behind the scenes, but yeah, I think it's more just being there and understanding the streamer than it is like actually us telling you what you could do, because everyone's different. Like people have different. Like, for example, banning someone. Someone might ban someone in someone's stream and you think, oh, I don't know if they deserve the ban. But to them, it's serious and they want that person gone from their community. So
yeah, it's just learning. It's just learning how learning how the specific streamer works.
Yeah.
How their community works. What they need, kind of thing. What
they want from you, pretty much,
Yeah.
And a lot of time, they're going to want a lot, really. It's just understanding when X thing does happen, that, like, you're there to, like, help them with that. Whether that's like someone being weird, whether they need like a shout out for someone, whether they need like everyone to be like supportive for something or like a segment you're doing or whatever it is, like just something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
right.
like when I first started working for Lulu, we were like, all right, so what are you actually paying me to do? And we were like, don't know. We'll kind of figure it out as we go.
And we
Like,
just go from there. Yeah.
just be useful, basically. So you kind of just have to learn as you go.
Yeah.
And like still don't have specific like responsibilities. I just kind of do as much as I can
When you
to make
can.
things easier.
Yeah. I think the other side of things down, Pat just reaching out and hoping to learn from others where I have to learn from my own mistakes. Right, okay, yeah.
That's fair.
I get you. Yeah, that's
Definitely
fair.
talking to people is big.
Yeah. Being in around communities and stuff and just learning from other people, I think is the main one. I don't know if Dommy's still here, but Dommy's question was, can you ask him about agencies if you haven't already talked about it, how you present yourself or where to find the right ones?
Agencies are tricky. In regards to finding the right ones, I would definitely look at who other people are using. So if you are, I guess, a similar size to someone that has an agent, you might reach out to them and ask how they get on with them. There's a lot of agencies that take the piss. You know, some of them aren't really that good. Some of them won't bring you any deals, and it's like it's pointless signing with them. It's tricky. I haven't really dealt with a lot of agencies because Lulu's been with one and stayed. Well, she was with one through NRG, and then her agent left to sign with UTA, and she followed. So
Right.
she's had the same agent always, and he's really good. So there's never been an issue. Whereas I know some people have had bad experiences and left. The other thing is it's tricky to approach agencies sometimes, depending on your size. Like I've recommended people to agencies, and they're not quite the size we would look to sign.
Right.
Obviously, certain agencies are doing massive deals, some are doing smaller deals, so they take on smaller creators. Yeah, it's tricky. It's definitely just a networking thing. So like, if you get a chance to go to TWITCHCON and you manage to get into a circle where there's agents, then it's a good way of getting to know people.
Bit easier, yeah.
Like I was talking to Nora's agent at TWITCHCON because he was floating around, like making sure everything was cool, and we just got chatting about behind the scenes stuff. You know, it's like it's how you build those relationships.
Build connections, yeah. It's a lot easier. I think people disregard the power of networking and like
100%.
seeing people in events and like just even being online somewhere and getting your, because it's not even technically, you know, you're not really getting your name out there because you're just having a chat. So you know what I mean, you're not really gonna like, so you're not self-promoting, you're just actually having a chat to someone and like actually being genuine, and you know, you never know you're gonna end up talking to. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's insane. Like just going to events is crazy. Like when I was in Austin at Clara's, like Lulu's Twitch manager was like, "Yo, we've got this Twitch mixer coming up in Austin. You gonna like show your face, kind of thing." And I was just like, "Yo, can me and Clara come too?" Because like she's not really had any exposure to this. And then they're like, "Yeah, we got space. You can come." And then we're sat there talking to Dan Clancy for 30 minutes, like just me and her. Like it's
That's
insane.
crazy. Yeah, it's mad.
You don't know who you're going to talk to, but like
yeah,
just hanging out with a Twitch CEO, you know, just chatting.
I think that was kind of like what I felt about like when I went to LAN. Like I just was talking to people and I was like, "Oh, that's this person."
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Like,
yeah.
Or
100%.
even if you do know of them, you know, you just talk to them as a genuine person. Oh, they're actually well, all right. Do you know what I mean? You realize that you're like you've made that connection with people, even though you know. I mean,
I think a big thing, like, you've got to remember off stream, they're all just people.
Yeah, with a name next to their thing.
Like, even famous, like, for me, I think it's a big thing for me. Like, I've never been starstruck by anybody. I don't know what it is. I just don't care. They're just they're a normal person. Just talk to them normally. I feel like people appreciate that more. You know, like meeting Dan Clancy, I'm just like, yo, what up?
Yeah,
like just having a normal conversation with him. And like, he is like that. He's just a normal guy. He's just like interested in like what you do. Like we had the similar conversation to what we're having like now. Like, oh, what do you do? Like, where'd you start? Where'd you come from? Like, you know, same kind of stuff. And it's just a normal conversation. So I feel like networking is definitely the key to getting into stuff like that.
It is. How come I'm not mod here yet then? Okay, so you're modding one stream, by the way. Let's just put that out there for stars. Is that me showing to use right again? Not self-promote, just networking. Yeah. I mean, like, but you also have to take networking into account in terms of, like, you shouldn't just network with someone because you want to gain something out of it. Like, that should never be the case.
No, I agree. It should be it should be a genuine, like, you're not just there trying to self-promo.
Yeah.
You're trying to get to know people. You're trying to build relationships in the industry. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's yeah.
We'll come back and watch the VOD. Yeah, we have a channel actually. If you want to go watch other stuff on there as well, Sloth. I'll just put it in chat now. A great mod in that one stream. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, Silky, but yeah, great mod, mate. But yeah, I think that's met a lot of people. Like for me, anyway, it was like a few of the lands that I just started talking to people and then realized that they're just normal people. I mean, even when we started speaking, we only kind of met at one of the lands, didn't we? We just started talking to each other. And
you were like, "Oh my god, are you Tempie?" I was like, "Who the fuck's this guy?"
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my god, Tempie, what the hell?" No, just because I knew you through like.
That was actually like the first time I'd ever had someone come up to me and like be like, "Oh, are you Tempie?"
Recognize you, yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck?"
Because I recognize you from, I can't remember which. I mean, it must have been Lulu stream or maybe Ambush, Asta.
Could be
potentially one of them. I mean, obviously, I just knew your name from like being on Twitch, and then obviously when I saw you, I was like, "Oh, that's Tempie," and then we just started talking. Even like Dunk, for example. Obviously, I kind of knew who he was, and I just started speaking to him, and then
I didn't even know of Dunk until last year. Like, because honestly, with like Apex comp scene, I was not interested at all until Bree was like, AC was like, "Are you coming to LAN?" Because it was in London, obviously. I was like, "Okay, why not?" And then I was obviously hanging out with TSM and everyone then, and I got to know Dunk, and oh boy.
Yeah, it's interesting, like where you meet people and just you never know. He doesn't even have to be on stream. It could just be anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just any event you ever go to, you can end up talking to. Do you know what I mean? I mean, this is gonna sound crazy, but I remember being at the Apex Chaos Cup and I had no idea who Seadrill is. Seadrill, Cadrill. Sorry, I was saying Seadrill.
Not again.
Cadrill. Yeah, not again. But yeah, I literally had no idea who he was, and he was just like on like my team technically, but like he was like one of the bigger creators there. And I remember he came up and was like talking to all of us saying like, "Oh, this is our game plan, this is what we're going to do." And he was like proper getting involved. And then it was only once I left there and like realized, I was like, "Oh, okay, he's massive." Like, he is like, he averages like 40k. And like, I didn't realize how big he was. And like, he was just so nice. Even like his manager was really nice. Like, you just never know who you're going to bump into. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
my stalker was there too.
Oh, well, that event?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Bloody hell!
He was playing.
Oh, was he?
He was on Natty's team, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to watch that back. Watch that back. That's a random one, isn't it? I thought you told me about. You did actually tell me that. To be fair. Okay, last one. I think this is Ella or Chibs. She said, "I may have missed this, but do you have any advice for someone interested in joining a well-established org like NRG? How do you or larger creators bet on themselves to see growth process through it?"
Personally, I wouldn't bother with orgs. Nowadays.
That was my question. Oh, my bad. I think the agency one was Chib. Sorry, so agency one was Chibs, and this one was okay. I got them mixed the way around.
I wouldn't bother with orgs in regards to like content orgs unless you're a pro. If you're a pro, obviously you need a team to sign you for tournaments and stuff. And their salaries are still pretty good. With content creation, I wouldn't bother. I would just like say bet on yourself, grow yourself. You don't have any limitations on who can sponsor you, because that's what I was saying earlier. Is like one of the negatives like back in the day, it was um, all of like say NRG sponsors, you can't clash with those. So you're then limiting yourself in a bunch of different industries to what sponsors you can take. And you know, like as soon as Lulu left NRG, she signed with Monster for I think a year. So, you know, and that one deal replaced NRG's salary multiple times over, you know, like so it's it's different. I think it's different nowadays, but I don't know. I wouldn't personally bother with signing on an org with content creation. I don't think they give you anything and you're just advertising them for free.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna sign with 100 Thieves and
Yeah.
they're gonna fund your content ideas,
That's
then
what I was gonna
it's
say.
different.
That's what I was gonna say.
But
Or like LG, for example. Someone that's like a massive like company that are like have a few streamers on their like brand, and it's actually worth doing because they pay you in sponsorships. Like you get these sponsorship opportunities where you can work with these brands, and then you know you might get something out of it, or you might get to network with someone who's like along the line. Oh my god, I met this person through this person, and now I have this sponsorship just because I did this. It's like
it definitely opens the door for networking. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like you can do that on your own.
yeah,
It's just a little bit harder.
just harder. Yeah. It's easier to have like someone on there that's going to give you these opportunities to like grow and. You know what I mean?
Obviously, like with an org, you're gonna have like people like, yo, this is such and such from this brand. Like they introduce you, but
It's the middleman.
I feel like they're kind of just middlemaning something that you could get yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it's dependent on what org it is and how big they are. Because sometimes orgs will come up to you and offer you stuff, and you have a bigger following than them, and you're like, not going to be horrible. What is the point, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree. I do agree.
You don't have a bigger org than me. Bigger org, you don't have a bigger following. So like, are you really going to do it? Oh my god, are you guys brothers? No, we are not brothers. No. And
the ginger gene skipped me.
Yeah, it's a ginger gene. Yeah, and the bet on yourself question kind of pertains to something getting in the way of consistency in your way of growth. Right. Okay. How do you or large creators bet on themselves to see growth? I think investing in yourself would be my answer. Is okay, you're gonna have to spend some money to make your stream better, but in turn, it's gonna get to you don't know where it's gonna get you. Like when I first ever started streaming, I used to stream off my laptop and then connect it to a like my Xbox and then obviously like a capture card. But I knew if I wanted any form of growth, I had to shell out and buy a PC because I'm not going to get growth on a console. Like, I could potentially get growth on a console, but it's going to be a hell of a lot easier if I have a PC. A hell of a lot easier. Because you have everything in one place. You can do way more with your content. Like, you're kind of restricting yourself by being on console. Like, they're pretty much not... If you want to take it seriously, there's pretty much no reason why you should be on console. Because you can do everything you can do, but more on PC. And it also opens up so many more opportunities for you as well.
I agree.
So I knew that I had to spend the money to get a PC. And yeah, it is expensive, but it's an investment for the future. It's an investment. And you can edit your feet pics on your PC. Okay, I'm not doing that. I've got told I've got webbed feet, but I'm not showing you my feet. So, but yeah, I'd say invest in yourself. Thanks, guys. Yeah,
in yourself. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that. Like, even... Like if you're editing your own content and you're doing it on a laptop, I don't know how you do it. Like I have to have my computer to edit. Like I hate editing on a laptop with a tiny little screen. Like I need my massive screen where everything fits and I can see everything, and you know, it just makes life so much easier. Yeah. So I definitely agree. Like investing in your setup, your camera, your lighting, your everything. Like I got all the gear. I just don't do anything with it.
I think that doesn't mean what Tempie's saying though. I think sorry to interrupt. I don't think that means like go out and spend the top of the range everything. Not. It's just as long as you've got like a decent. Do you know what I mean? Like camera. Like you can get a Logitech camera. The one I've got is like what £50, £40, £40
Yeah,
or something.
honestly, that camera, everybody has used it at some point.
Yeah.
C920, right?
Yeah, C920, yeah.
Yeah, every single streamer has used that
And
at
then
some point.
and then your mic is kind of like you can choose a wild range of mics. You've got the Snowball, which isn't like amazing.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, the Snowball, which is what everyone used. You've got the Hyper GX one with the flashy colors. I don't see a lot of people using my one, to be fair. I've
Which
got
one's
the
yours?
Razer Siren X. I've got.
Ooh.
But I'm gonna upgrade mine soon. What else is there? You've got what one you got?
That's the Shure SM7B.
Have you got the USB one? I know you haven't, have you? Yeah, see, that's what I'm gonna get, but the USB version.
Nice.
Because obviously you have to buy the Go XLR if you get that, didn't you? So
yeah, I honestly wouldn't. I wouldn't even recommend the Go XLR nowadays.
Yeah.
People are using the Rode Procaster, which is a big bit of kit and it's very expensive, but worth it.
Yeah.
If you've got the budget.
I think as long as you've got a semi-decent camera, a decent mic, and decent lighting, you're good to go. I mean, my lighting that I use is like £20 off Amazon, and it's literally just a silly ring light.
Yeah, you don't have to do ridiculous. You don't have to buy Elgato everything. That's really expensive and all links together. Like that light behind me was like £15 off Amazon, and then I've got a £10 floodlight that does the blue. They're obviously pretty expensive, but they're not necessary. Like the nano leaves.
Nano leaves, yeah.
And then you can do like front lighting very cheap.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to spend crazy money on your setup for it to look good.
No. I mean, even like monitors and stuff. Like the monitor I used to read chat is like an old monitor that got taken out of an office because they were moving and they were giving away the monitors. And it's like a little, it's like a HP like 60 hertz monitor that I just use it because I use it as a second monitor. I don't need it to be a good monitor. Even my main monitor is only like £200. I bought like 4 years ago, and it's only like 144 hertz. I mean, that's probably quite low now for most monitors, right? Most of them are like 200 plus.
Yeah, I think like the beefy ones nowadays are doing a lot.
Yeah, 200 plus. So, yeah, I don't think you need a lot to upgrade yourself. I mean, I can't lie. The probably two things that I spent the most on are my mouse and my keyboard. But I think for them, that's how much you use both of them as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like my mouse. What is it? I got the Lamzu Maya X. It's quite expensive. It's like £120 or something. But obviously, I use this all the time. Yeah, I mean, Tempie's one. Yeah, they're expensive, but they're worth because you use it all the time, and they're good mouses and they don't break.
Yeah, I've had this one for years. It hasn't broken at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, as long as you've got decent lighting, a decent mic, you should be fine. Audio is key. Yeah, audio is massive.
I'd say audio is probably more important to upgrade first than your camera.
Yeah. Because you get,
especially if you're not a partner, because you're limited to what you can stream at anyway. So your quality is already not that great.
Yeah, you can't stream over 6K bitrate if you're not a partner.
So I'd say audio is definitely key.
Yeah, audio is definitely key, 100%. If people can't hear your voice or it's muffled or it sounds terrible, they're not going to watch. You know, if your camera's not unbelievable, it's not really the end of the world as long as I can hear you. But listen, Logitech C920 is like what, £50, £60? So
yeah, that is literally like the starter. Everybody gets that.
Yeah, equalizer AOP is your best friend for audio quality. Any mid-range USB mic will sound great using that. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Don't just cheapskate on mics because you know your voice is the main thing about a stream. Well, if anything, it is the only thing of a stream. If you don't, you know, if you've got a camera and you're not talking, like no one's gonna watch you. Your voice is the main thing in a stream. The number one thing you should be focusing on. So you should always at least focus on getting a semi-decent mic or a decent mic that you know is gonna last you and is good. I mean, my mic I've had for about 4 years, and I'm gonna upgrade it soon. So we'll see. It's a free software printing YouTube videos setting up. Yeah. Podcast mic is better ScarLine. Yeah.
Hundreds of ways you can do audio.
No,
people do all sorts. Yeah.
But that'd be my advice. You don't have to shut out on things, but just make sure they're decent enough to like be able to hear you. Like no one, if you first starting off, no one's gonna really care if you've got the best camera, the best mic, like mouse, keyboard. They're not gonna care. I'm gonna be honest. Like people that shell out on like overlays and they spend like £200 on their stream. Like if no one's watching you, it doesn't matter what you're doing, does it? Really, it's more about actually using your personality and your gameplay or whatever you're doing to attract people to watch you. Not.
I mean, you look at like Jinxie screams into a shitty headset and it peaks like crazy, and that's his content because it's his personality.
Yeah, literally.
He hasn't got a really good setup, to be honest. Like
No.
he screams into
Same as
his
Queso.
headset mic.
Same as
Yeah,
Queso. He hasn't got
they
amazing
scream
quality.
into a cheap headset mic.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's not for everyone, but that's his his personality. That's his stream. It's his content.
That's the way he goes about it. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that'd be both our advice, I guess. Just you don't have to shell out on so much. Like, you don't have to shell out on the best quality of everything. You just get, as long as it's decent and it works and it's a decent like brand, and you know you can see and hear you, then that's all that really matters, to be honest. Everything else is next. Obviously PC as well, that's obviously the main one. You want a PC that isn't lagging, and like, because I remember when I first started, when I was on my laptop, anyone that used to do animated emotes used to lag my laptop. Used to lag my whole stream, because obviously I was streaming off a laptop that wasn't great, and I was going through a console, so it was like anything that happens that was like anything that happened that was like animated, it would just make it go laggy, and like I couldn't see the picture, and it go all pixelated, and yeah, it was just horrible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was horrible. But yeah, I think that's everything anyway. I don't think you guys got any more questions, so I think we'll wrap it up there, Tempie. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks for joining me, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for your insight. I appreciate it. I'm sure people have learned something.
6 months in the making.
Yeah, 6 months in the making. Yeah, it's been fucking ages. I'm so sorry it took so long.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, you take care, Tempie.
Thanks for having me. See you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.